And as You'll Never Walk Alone is sung yet again, rather poignantly, a special mosaic was formed in the Kop away towards our right, with the red letters on the white background that spelt the nickname of Ron Yates, Rowdy. So Kenny Dalglish is here today with his wife Marina, and he has certainly fondly remembered after his sad passing. BBC Radio 5 Live, we're also live on the BBC Sounds app here. It's the usual Saturday goal service. A number of games, of course, have already concluded. Mark Chapman has guided you through all of those. We've got our designated reporters here, there and everywhere, and we are underway for what is the start of a rather intense period, particularly for those teams competing in the Champions League. They're going to play 7 games over the next 3 weeks. There's going to be no midweek break. It's going to really step up in terms of its intensity.
Yep, absolutely. It's going to become, I suspect, Ian, a bit of a squad game for the teams competing on the European front and the domestic front, and Liverpool, of course, are one of those, but they've started the season so well. That consistency and continuity in selection has really worked for Arne Slot.
Yet to concede, remember, as well, since he that seamless transition from taking over from Jurgen Klopp, as a free kick is awarded to Liverpool just inside the Liverpool half as they play from right to left. So they're defending the Kop end in this first half. They are attacking the Anfield Road end away towards our left-hand side, where the Nottingham Forest supporters have half of that bottom tier behind the goal of Matt Sells, as the ball is quickly played forward to Alexander-Arnold, level with the penalty area, and the Nottingham Forest supporters ahead of kick-off with a banner that said "Respect the 97, solidarity with survivors, no to tragedy" chanting. Hear to that. Full respect to Forest for that, as Alexander-Arnold will win a corner, but there's already been a goal at the Etihad. Will Perry.
A goal inside the first 30 seconds, and it's Manchester City 0, Brentford 1. It's Johan Wissa who's headed into an empty net after an absolute shambles of a point of view, from a defensive point of view, from Manchester City. City 0, Brentford 1.
Mind you, Ipswich scored quite early on, and Manchester City soon put them to the sword. But Brentford were the last team to beat Manchester City at the Etihad. November 2022, 45 games ago. Corner kick to Liverpool, far side, and reaches on this near side Salah, and then it runs away off his shins and is gathered in by Matt Sells. As we welcome listeners to the BBC World Service, wherever you are in the world, it's always a pleasure to have your company. Here we are at Anfield, where there are pockets of blue sky on a dry and bright afternoon. Here on Merseyside, Manchester City are behind. Liverpool still drawing, as Gibbs White with a nice turn is dispossessed by Luis Diaz. Robertson has actually stayed down, and our referee today is Michael Oliver, who has blown his whistle. So there will be a stoppage as we'll check in on England's women against New Zealand in the Rugby Union. James Burridge.
And the Red Roses have their second try, an absolute brilliant score in the corner from Abby Dow. Raw pace, finishing fast and free. 10-0, England lead. The conversion missed, and that's after Marnie Packer got things going after 15 minutes.
3 minutes played earlier. Southampton 0, Manchester United 3. Manchester City are trailing, the two teams with the only 100% winning start in the early stages of this campaign. What have you made of Arne Slot in his early tenure?
Well, you can't not be impressed by the way that Liverpool have started the season under Arne Slot, and of course replacing Jurgen Klopp, and he's gone about it in a really understated way, really, and Liverpool have played with excellent balance, having conceded a goal, as you've already mentioned. I just wonder, at the start of the season, I didn't think Liverpool, with the change of manager, could be title contenders, but it's the start that they certainly would have wanted, and you just never know, because they have the players capable of challenging.
Familiar voice of Chris Sutton on BBC Radio 5 Live. There's been a goal at Vicarage Road in the Championship. Hamish Marshall.
Coventry are in front. The corner from the far right hand side, headed at the near post by Ellis Sims. It went in off the back post. Watford 0, Coventry 1.
Liverpool are temporarily down to 10 men. Andrew Robertson, after getting that blow to the face, is unable to return to the action at the moment. Ball goes out of play for a throw. Chance at the Amex. Who to? John Southall.
To Brighton 0, Ipswich 0. Carlos Belieber on the edge of the area, brought the ball down on his left foot. Shot saved by Muric to his left-hand side. Brighton 0, Ipswich 0.
Gibbs White coming forward. His ball has gone slightly astray, a little skewed, as he tried to pass it out towards that far side. Salah has then given the ball away. Played early forward by James Ward-Prowse. Gibbs White now makes the run left-hand side of the penalty area for those sky blue shirts of Nottingham Forest. And now coming in was Yates off that left-hand side. Then he loses the ball, and then Gravenberch will pass the ball quickly infield. And now it's towards Robertson. And Robertson will come over the halfway line now in the sunshine, as Swansea City are leading Norwich by 1-0 in the Championship. Swansea without a win in 3. Liverpool slow it down. Back to Robertson on the halfway line. Runs infield, and this is with Konate, and Gravenberch is able to turn in the centre circle. Back to the Etihad, Will Perry.
Man City 0, Brentford 1. Another big chance for Brentford. So open at the back, City, and Rico Lewis got in with a last-ditch tackle on Brian Mbeumo, and the whistle goal timed at 22 seconds, the fastest in the Premier League this season. Manchester City 0, Brentford 1.
Bromley are leading Notts County by 1-0. Bromley, of course, new to the Football League. Notts County second in the table this morning, but have fallen behind to Andy Woodman's side. Ball goes out of play, and Forest will take that goal kick short. And the ball is hit forward by Matt Sells. Gibbs White tries to beat Van Dijk in the air. Little flick on then to Yates. Lets the ball settle, brings it under control by running back towards the halfway line. 6 minutes played, 0-0 as the ball breaks down. Oh, that was a little bit late. Yates just catching McAllister. The referee Michael Oliver has played a good advantage, and Jota now runs forward, enters the penalty area left-hand side. Cross takes a deflection and then is cleared away by Ward-Prowse. Only now is McAllister getting back to his feet, but good refereeing. Let's get an update in the cricket. Melissa Story.
Well, Sussex Sharks, they're 45 for 5 in the 8th over here. All top 5 of their batters have been dismissed. 3 wickets for Matt Taylor, 1 apiece for David Payne and Ollie Price. 45 for 5 Sussex.
Bromley have got a second goal. Bromley 2, Notts County 0. The cricket for the 2020 finals day continues on Sports Extra. We'll go to Selhurst Park now. Lee Blakeman.
Palace 0, Leicester 0. Big chance early on for Leicester though. Ndidi with a cross for the left. It found Ayew 8 yards out, kicked his shot into the ground, and over it went. Palace 0, Leicester 0.
Szoboszlai to Alexander-Arnold, out towards Salah, right corner of the penalty area, back towards Szoboszlai. Tried to play it out towards Alexander-Arnold, succeeds at about the third attempt, as Szoboszlai and Alexander-Arnold will interchange. Alexander-Arnold cuts inside. Now it's with Salah, just outside the D. Diagonal ball to Luis Diaz. Just too far ahead of him, out for a goal kick, Chris Sutton.
Yeah, heavy from the pass from Mo Salah. Unlike him, Diaz had made the run on that left-hand side. The ball just overweighted. Some of the positions Trent Alexander-Arnold is taking up in the early stages for Nottingham Forest. He is playing so high, and that's causing Nottingham Forest 1 or 2 problems. Forest have set up in their formation with a 4-4-1-1. Gibbs White just playing off Chris Wood at the top, so they have the option to go direct into the physical Wood.
Chris Wood, who has certainly prospered under Nuno Espirito Santo. 13 goals in 19 appearances under the Forest coach in the Premier League since he took charge. There was an element of doubt about his participation here today after he played twice for New Zealand out in America in the international break. Ross County lead Dundee by 1-0. St Mirren 1, Kilmarnock 0, and you're up to date with the goals as they go in on BBC Radio 5 Live and the World Service. And now in the bright sunshine, Salah comes forward, but is stopped in his tracks. They get it up towards Gibbs White. First Nottingham Forest player during the international break to play for England since Stuart Pearce back in 1997. For Morgan Gibbs White, as he's quickly closed down by Van Dijk, and out it goes for a throw. Liverpool's work ethic when they don't have the ball is quite striking.
Yeah, look, I mean, let's get it right. In fairness, under Jurgen Klopp, it was pretty good as well. They started under Arne Slot with the same intensity, just maybe not so fast and furious as they were under Klopp. A bit more balance.
A little bit more control, isn't there, when they're in possession? That's the slight tweak from Arne Slot. Liverpool looking to become the 5th side in top flight history to win their opening 4 games without conceding. The last side, Manchester City, back in 15-16 campaign. But here they are, quite happy to have the ball. Konate plays it infield to the right back, which is Alexander-Arnold, of course, just outside the centre circle. His back-to-back starts for England in those games against Ireland and Finland, the first time that he's done that as a right back for his country in 5 years. As now Alexander-Arnold sweeps it out from the centre circle out towards Salah. That's where he's so good, isn't it, with that distribution of his?
Yep, just not on that occasion.
I realised as soon as I said it.
But he's, he takes up some interesting positions, doesn't he? Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's floating around the pitch, as I said, playing high a few moments ago, and then coming into a deeper position to get on the ball, trying to get overloads all over the pitch, Liverpool.
Carlisle United 0, Fleetwood 1, a latest score in League 2. Referee, though, Michael Oliver, has given a free kick for a foul on Gibbs White inside the centre circle. We'll go to Craven Cottage. Chris Coles.
Fulham 0, West Ham 0. Fulham have started the brighter. Anthony Robinson's cut back. Raul Jimenez back heel finish, comfortably saved. Andreas Pereira shot deflected on the edge. Another comfortable Areola save. Fulham 0, West Ham 0.
Brentford still leading at Manchester City. Will Perry.
And they are dominating. Man City 0, Brentford 1. Ederson denying Collins from close range from a corner, and Bomo couldn't connect with an overhead kick in the City box, and Ederson out to intercept Wissa, who could have been one-on-one. I've never seen City look so shaky in a long time. City 0, Brentford 1.
Thank you, Will. Liverpool 0-0 here with Forest on 5 Live. Szoboszlai, dark-haired Hungarian international, pulled to the floor by Dominguez in front of his bald-headed coach, Arne Slot, all in his dark attire down below. Port Vale 1, Chesterfield 0 is another latest score in League 2. Here is Van Dijk just outside the centre circle of the Liverpool half. Konate now on the ball. Back with Van Dijk. Robertson just shy of the halfway line. Alexander-Arnold only now is starting to venture forward on that far side to right as Konate plays it to the feet of Salah. Looked like he was being pulled down by Moreno, who's making his Premier League debut for Forest. His only other appearance was that one against Newcastle in the League Cup since he arrived on loan from Aston Villa.
Yeah, Mo Salah, he's still having a pop at the referee about the decision not to award him a free kick. I think Moreno a little bit too hands-on there as Salah backed in, but I think Nottingham Forest have shown their intent in the early stages. Really aggressive, trying not to allow the Liverpool midfield to really dominate on the ball.
A ground where Nottingham Forest haven't won in their last 27 visits to Anfield, and they've only avoided defeat on 7 occasions in that 27. You have to go all the way back to February 1969, 55 years ago, a 2-0 win, 2 goals for Barry Lyons, the year that man first walked on the moon. Worked on the moon.
I suppose they worked as well, didn't they?
And Sesame Street first hit our television screens, and a certain Chris Sutton wasn't even a twinkle in the eye.
Well, we don't actually know that.
Well, bearing in mind you were born 4 years later, I'd suggest it's a fair bet. I'd be a little bit worried if that was the case in 1969, but we'll swiftly move on. St Mirren 1, Kilmarnock 1 is the latest score in the Scottish Premiership. Alexander-Arnold looks to release Salah early on that far side to right, but Moreno is back, and then he gets himself almost into a little bit of trouble, but recovers and finds some support from Anderson. And now referee Michael Oliver has angered the Anfield crowd by giving a free kick to the away team for a foul by Konate. Yeah, so all level in Paisley. We're up to date with the goals as they go in on 5 Live.
That battle, Moreno against Salah. Moreno into the team. I don't think Nuno Espirito Santos kept the same back four in any of the games this season. It looks like he's earmarked Mo Salah.
Aina unable to get hold of that ball. He looked like he was going to try and slide to keep it in, but then thought better of it, and the ball goes out in front of the Kop for a goal kick. 14 minutes played. Grimsby Town 0, Barrow 1. So Barrow, who were third this morning are leading at Blundell Park in League Two. No other goals elsewhere. This is Canate at a gentle walking pace. Mentioned earlier about that frenetic period. 7 games in 3 weeks for the teams in the Champions League, and indeed the Europa League as well. But the Champions League will take centre stage during this coming week, and BBC Radio 5 Live will have all 4 games for you. Young Boys Aston Villa Tuesday, 5:45 commentary, followed by Milan Liverpool in San Siro, Manchester City Inter on the Wednesday, and Atalanta Arsenal on the Thursday. So 3 successive days of Champions League coverage, and of course BBC Television has the highlights to look forward to as well during the week. Bromley 2, Notts County 1, so Notts County have got a goal back. There's a penalty shout at Craven Cottage. Chris Cole.
For Fulham, they are adamant they should have it, but it's not been given by referee Tim Robinson. Adama Traore bursting into the penalty area. He was felled by Maximilian Kilman. The cheers you can hear because the referee is being asked to look at the monitor. So Fulham could well have a penalty incoming, but for now it's still Fulham 0, West Ham 0.
Yeah, we normally know what that means as Alexander-Arnold again looks for an early ball to release Salah. Salah now right corner of the area. Szoboszlai and Jota inside the penalty area. Salah plays it behind Szoboszlai, and the move breaks down, and Forest should be able to clear. Anderson up towards Wood, lays it off. Dominguez then gives it away rather cheaply, and then Van Dijk and Liverpool with McAllister work it out now to Robertson. Morecambe have just scored their first goal of their League Two campaign. Morecambe 1, Colchester United 0. Yet to score until today, and they'd lost every game, bottom of League Two, but Ben Tollett has given them a lead in League Two. Incidentally, that penalty not awarded, not given at Craven Cottage. Fulham 0, West Ham United 0. Goalless at Brighton, goalless at Selhurst Park. Manchester City 0, Brentford 1, and the ball hasn't gone out of play. Luis Diaz shoots, hits the base of the left-hand post. The keeper was beaten, went down to save it with his legs. It went to the left of him, but he was saved by the woodwork.
Yeah, brilliant from Diaz. Didn't give up when I think it was Yates who was trying to usher the ball out of play on the byline. Diaz pinches it off him, drives on the inside, gives Celts the eyes. Looks like it's going in off the inside of the post, agonisingly to safety.
Ball goes out of play for a throw, so almost a goal here, but there has been a goal at Blackburn in the Championship. Sani Ridwavajala.
Blackburn Rovers 1, Bristol City 0. Goalkeeper Max O'Leary passing the ball straight out to Lewis Travers, who side foots in. Blackburn Rovers 1, Bristol City 0.
Well, certainly Ryan Yates will be extremely relieved, because he was the guilty party, as you say. He was dawdling, and Diaz certainly wasn't.
Yep, he's just trying to muscle Diaz and let the ball roll out. It was actually a careless pass from Gavin Burke. Yates gets back, but Diaz does brilliantly. Shifts the ball on the inside, on that right foot, on the corner of the 6-yard box. Oh, I tell you, he's done the goalkeeper there with his eyes. Off the post and away to safety.
His brace recently against Manchester United was only the second time that he's scored a brace in his Liverpool career. And in fact, if you look back at his history with Porto, 32 goals, only twice did he score more than 1 goal in his career in Portugal as well. Middlesbrough are leading Preston North End by 1-0. We'll bring you news of that now from Andy Sixsmith.
1-0, easy goal for Middlesbrough, long ball forward. Tommy Conway latched onto it and slid a really calm finish beyond Freddie Woodman in the Preston goal. Middlesbrough 1, Preston 0.
Luis Diaz attacking for Liverpool, still 0-0, held up by Ola Aina, and Aina now can run forward for Forest. Short of the halfway line, Luis Diaz's back goal side, gets some support from Gibbs White. Aina then switches play out towards Anderson on the halfway line, slows it all the way down for Forest and waits for Moreno to get forward on that left-hand side. Let's get the latest from Brighton. John Southall.
Brighton 0, Ipswich 0. Brighton have a corner down on the right-hand side, but so far so good for Ipswich. That one chance, Belieber from the edge of the area, saved by Muric. Brighton 0, Ipswich 0.
Carlisle United 0, Fleetwood 2. As Moreno gets round the back of Alexander-Arnold, far side to left, runs to the edge of the area, finds Gibbs White. Gibbs White dive forward. There was no foul. Michael Oliver had the perfect position for that, and Liverpool now can get it away. And Jota all of a sudden has Salah running away down that right touchline. Jota now makes his way into the area. Szoboszlai's also there. Glancing header will run wide and out for, it came off a Forest head. Forest appeal. They thought it should have been a goal kick. Instead it's going to be a corner kick, and we will go to Blackpool, where there's been a goal in League One. Adam Cottier.
And the Steve Bruce era is up and running. Blackpool 1, Exeter 0. CJ Hamilton, left foot shot after a bouncing long throw had come his way in the penalty area. Blackpool 1, Exeter 0.
He's changed his mind. I thought it was a goal kick. Mike Oliver's changed his mind. He had signalled for a corner kick, but he's now given the goal kick, quite rightly so. He's having a word with Gibbs White at the moment, as Walsall are leading Bradford City by a 1-0. Chris Sutton.
Yeah, he should book Morgan Gibbs White. He dived on the edge of the Liverpool area trying to win a free kick. I think Michael Oliver is having a word, but Liverpool broke down the other end as play was allowed to go on, and Mo Salah really unlucky with the cross.
It's the only way they're going to stamp it out, is to take firm and decisive action by showing the yellow cards for that. As Yates, flailing arm, looked like he'd caught McAllister. Play continues. Yates on this near right hand side, triangular passing patterns, and now because it's a head injury, Michael Oliver will stop play. There's been a goal at Manchester City where it was City 0, Brentford 1, Will Perry.
And guess who scored it? It's Manchester City and it's Erling Haaland. City 1, Brentford 1. Lovely move from City in the box. Haaland with the finish into the top left corner. Is there another Haaland hat-trick incoming? City 1, Brentford 1.
Well, let's get news of that Walsall goal from Adam Whitty.
Yeah, they've taken a deserved lead from the penalty spot against the team 1 point and 1 place above them. Captain Taylor Allen cool and collected into the bottom left-hand corner. It's Walsall 1, Bradford 0 with 21 minutes gone.
Bristol Rovers 0, Wigan Athletic 1 is the latest score in League One. You're up to date. We've been playing for just over 20 minutes, and it's 0-0 here at Anfield, 1-1 at the Etihad. Tomorrow we have the North London Derby. 4 Premier League commentaries that we're bringing you this weekend. Back in the top flight, there's been another goal. It's at Selhurst Park. Lee Blakeman.
It's gone to Leicester. Palace 0, Leicester 1, after Palace had just had 3 really good chances. Through ball from Ndidi down the other end. Vardy in behind, rounded Henderson. Calm, cool finish. His second of the season to make it Crystal Palace 0, Leicester City 1.
Both sides yet to win so far in this Premier League. The embryonic stages of this new season. McAllister is on his feet, but is trudging his way to the touchline, and it's going to be an uncontested drop ball, I would imagine, for Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Forest players are unhappy about Ryan Yates' flailing arms. It's the second time he's caught a Liverpool player in the face.
The play continues. McAllister yet to return to the action. Golf update now. Solheim Cup, Ian Carter.
And things looking better for the United States in the top 2 matches, because Alison Corpus and Nelly Corder have tied it up against Emily Pedersen and Carlotta Siganda. And now Esther Hensleit and Charlie Hull only 1 up after 13 holes against Ali Ewing and Jennifer Kupcho. The other matches convincingly ahead for Europe, convincingly ahead for America. Could well be a shared session.
And live coverage tonight after 6:06 on the second day of the Solheim Cup with Ian and the team from 8:30 on BBC Radio 5 Live. So the sun shining brightly here on Merseyside. Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 0. 2 teams who've won 8 of the 15 European Cups for England. In fact, it was 46 years ago yesterday that Forest won 2-0 in a European Cup tie, first round. How Europe's elite competition has changed over the years, and of course it's revamped as we look forward to 3 successive days of Champions League coverage during the week. We will go to, where will we go next? It's to Fulham, Chris Coles.
Where Fulham have just taken the lead. Fulham 1, West Ham 0, thoroughly deserved. They've been very good. Raul Jimenez with a little back heel. He tried it earlier in the game, didn't come off. He's converted Emil Smith-Rowe's cross to make it Fulham 1, West Ham 0.
Sunderland, who've been enjoying their best league start for 99 years, have made that long trek to Plymouth. John Akers has seen a goal.
And it's a goal for Sunderland. A penalty. Very, very soft. Mumba into the back of Rigg, and Roberts tucked it away left-footed. Plymouth 0, Sunderland 1.
Ball from Murillo, releases Gibbs White, beats the Liverpool defence. Gibbs White places the ball just wide. Late flag, wouldn't have counted anyway.
Oh, it was a high line from the Liverpool defence, and Gibbs White just goes slightly early. It's brilliant play from the left centre half of Nottingham Forest, Murillo, who turns Salah, and yeah, we can just see we're in line with this. Gibbs White a yard offside. Good line from Liverpool. Van Dijk marshalling at the back.
McAllister gets away from Dominguez, outside of the right boot. Jota can't control it, squirms through his legs, and Murillo, who's been such a consistent performer since he arrived at Nottingham Forest at the heart of their defence, manages to get the ball away. But Regis Lebris certainly is the main man on Wearside at the moment. Sunderland looking to make it 5 wins out of 5. Burnley had moved second after their win at Ellen Road earlier today. Here is McAllister, edge of the area, clips the ball in. Jota from close range, straight into the arms of Sells.
Jota from close range should have scored. I wondered whether he could go with his head there. It's a wonderful, wonderful ball in. I think it's McAllister outside of the right boot. And Jota 6 yards out. If he goes with his head, he scores. And it's a tame volley into Sells' hands. Liverpool should be 1 up.
Certainly was a tame effort. 6 goals in 5 against Nottingham Forest. He's got a very good record of finding the back of the net, but it was easily dealt with by Sells as Liverpool take a quick throw away on that right hand side. Rotherham 0, Burton 1 is the latest score in League One, and then Salah unable to get the ball into the channel on that right hand side of the penalty area for Jota, and then that runs meekly out for a goal kick to Nottingham Forest. So 0-0 here. Brighton and Ipswich is goalless. Crystal Palace 0, Leicester 1. Fulham lead West Ham by a goal to 0. What's the latest at Manchester City? Will Perry.
Still Manchester City 1, Brentford 1, and look, is the message here, don't poke the bear like Ipswich did, because City are camped on the edge of that Brentford box. Brentford are now going to have a little relieving play there and be able to pump the ball upfield with a goal kick, but it's still Manchester City 1, Brentford 1.
Barrow have got a second goal in League 2 at Grimsby. Grimsby Town 0, Barrow 2 is a latest score. The results earlier, incidentally: Wimbledon 3, MK Dons 0, Swindon 4, Newport 0. The 2 results in League 1 as Chris Wood just gets onto that forward ball, right hand side of the penalty area, tries to win a corner off the legs of Konate, and then Konate tries to flick it off the legs of Wood for a goal kick, and the last touch came off Konate, and in the end Wood has got his wish. It's a corner kick.
Yeah, just real persistence from Chris Wood in the right hand channel. Tries to get a cross in, gets to the byline. Konate tries to usher him out, and here's an opportunity for Nottingham Forest, and they've got a guy who can deliver from set plays, James Ward-Prowse.
On his Forest debut. 2 results in League 1, Mansfield 2, Cambridge 1, Northampton 1, Wickham 2. In the Championship, Leeds 0, Burnley 1, Millwall 0, Luton 1, Oxford beat Stoke City by a goal to 0. Southampton 0, Manchester United 3 was in the Premier League. Ward-Prowse, it's an outswinger. Konate heads it away. Dominguez Moreno lifts the ball forward. Van Dijk heads it away, flags up. And then that'll be a free kick to Liverpool inside their penalty area. 27 minutes played. But really, you think about the Liverpool have seen a lot of the ball, but the only chance that they created so far was that Luis Diaz effort that hit the post. Oh, and the Jota one.
And the Jota one, yeah. So I don't think it's been as slick and as fluent as Arne Slot would have wanted. I think a lot of that, you have to give Nottingham Forest credit. I think they've been aggressive. They haven't let Liverpool play through them easy. They've actually got under Liverpool's skin a little bit with how robust they have been, and they've carried enough of a threat to worry Liverpool on 1 or 2 occasions.
And certainly when you think that they've got a Langer and Hudson-Odoi to come off the bench, the game plan maybe was to try and keep things tight and then look to try and inject a little bit of pace later on in the game, perhaps.
No, absolutely. Yeah, they have got a strong bench, Nottingham Forest.
Alexander-Arnold, forward ball. Gravenberch's ahead of him. Gravenberch runs in towards the penalty area. Plays it out towards Salah, right-hand side. Just bobbles a little bit there for the Egyptians. Still 0-0. 5 Live. World Service and BBC Sounds. Liverpool win a corner. Will quickly nip to Patodri. There's been a goal. Kenny Crawford.
28 minutes gone, Ian. It's Aberdeen 1, Motherwell 0. A 4th goal of the season for Papa Gueye, the Senegalese forward. Got the ball on the left-hand side, ran with it, kept running with it, smashed it past Aston Oxborough to make it Aberdeen 1, Motherwell 0.
And Derby, who've won all 3 at home so far this season, are leading at home to Cardiff City by a goal to 0. Cardiff bottom of the table, yet to win in the Championship. 5 Live in the Premier League, here in the sunshine at Anfield. Liverpool playing from right to left. Corner kick far side to right. Swung in from the right hand side, and the header, downward header by Van Dijk, drops about a foot wide of the left hand post.
Yes, a left-footed in-swinger. That's 2 corners Liverpool have had, and Nottingham Forest haven't dealt with them at all well. Van Dijk, the ball's just behind him. He's trying to direct a header inside the far post. I tell you, he's not far away. No defender on the Nottingham Forest right-hand post.
Wall-to-wall sport on BBC Radio 5 Live this weekend. You think that we've got the 2020 final stay on Sports Extra. We're keeping in touch with the Solheim Cup live coverage from 8:30 tomorrow. The Azerbaijan Grand Prix from midday. And then we've got Tottenham Arsenal at 2, Wolves Newcastle to follow at 4:30, and then the conclusion of the Solheim Cup after that. 4 Premier League commentaries this weekend, Champions League football to look forward to. Alexander-Arnold hits an early ball from deep, arcs its way into the penalty area, away from Robertson, and out of play for a Forest throw down by the corner flag in front of their travelling supporters. We'll go back to the Etihad and Will Perry.
Manchester City 1, Brentford 1. Brentford have a corner because Ederson had to tip behind. City up against it again at the back. It was a brilliant cross from Norgard, and Pinnock was there, the Brazilian keeper, turning it behind for a corner. Manchester City 1, Brentford 1.
Ball, Ward-Prowse just caught late by Szoboszlai. Referee spotted that. Ward-Prowse has stayed down, and that will be a free kick to Nottingham Forest. Let's get an update from the Amex. John Southall.
Half an hour played, Brighton 0, Ipswich 0. First moment for Ipswich. Sam Smodics on the left of the area dragged his shot wide of the right hand post. Brighton 0, Ipswich 0.
Leicester still lead at Palace by a goal to 0. Fulham 1-0 up. 1-1 between Manchester City. We'll have commentary of Aston Villa Everton at 5:30, and then news of Bournemouth Chelsea from 8 o'clock as play is back underway, and Ward-Prowse is okay as Alexander-Arnold, right corner of the Forest penalty area, brings it neatly under control out towards Salah, plays it back. Gravenberch will play it back out towards that right touch line. Salah clips over the cross. Milinkovic heads it away. Headed back though by Konate. It's a looping header that strikes the back of Salah, and Moreno should be able to clear, but it's a scuff clearance only as far as Alexander-Arnold. Milinkovic drops to his knees to head it away, helped further clear by Ward-Prowse. Konate gave a little nudge in the back there, and that was spotted by Michael Oliver, and to his credit tried to let the game flow, and then has brought it back, and Forest have a free kick.
Yeah, I think that's really good refereeing, but on a couple of occasions Nottingham Forest really sloppy and giving the ball away when they're trying to play out from the back, giving Liverpool opportunities. And Salah on one occasion, Alexander-Arnold on another one. Delivery wasn't quite at the level it should have been.
Leyton Orient, who are yet to win so far this season in League One, have taken the lead. Reading 0, Leyton Orient 1. We've got the St Ledger, a feature race at Doncaster on its way. Darren Owen.
Yes, Ian, Illinois and Jan Bruegel 11-4 joint favourites for the St Ledger, and a few minutes ago at Leopardstown, Economics beat August Rodin by a neck to win at 7-4 in the Irish Champion Stakes.
We'll be back with Darren in for the Ledger, which is about, I would suggest, 8 minutes away if they're off on time at that excellent course in South Yorkshire.
Have you got a horse in that race?
I might have a vested interest. As the free kick in a very, very quiet Anfield goes back out for another Liverpool throw. So it was Manchester City 1, Brentford 1. Brentford had taken an early lead. There's been another goal. Will Perry.
And Erling Haaland is on another hat-trick. It's a double for him. A wonderful ball played through. Haaland with a lovely deft finish into the bottom right-hand corner. They've come from behind. City 2, Brentford 1. Surely not 3 consecutive hat-tricks for Erling Haaland.
Insane, isn't it?
It's incredible. I mean, his numbers are just phenomenal. It's like he's playing a different game. Did you captain him in your fantasy team this week, did you?
Yeah, of course you did. You've got to. Anybody who doesn't is a fool.
Yeah, I'm a fool. I've not even got him in my team.
Well, yeah. Peterborough 0, Lincoln City 1 is the latest score in League One. Liverpool can come forward now. Szoboszlai, poor ball. Quite a narrow back four by Nottingham Forest, and Aina, the right back running back, was able just to clear it away. Gibbs White went to ground far too easily. Not the first time this afternoon. Ball inside. Diaz links up with Robertson, passes the ball back towards McAllister. Still 0-0, just over 10 minutes to go to half time here, and now with Van Dijk. Van Dijk strokes it left-footed. Konate controls it with his right foot in the centre circle, out towards Salah midway through the Nottingham Forest half. Then he clips the ball back into the centre circle for Van Dijk, just brushes his left thigh And then McAllister with a cushion ball back inside, just trying to work Forest once again, who have every sky blue shirt back behind the ball, but Liverpool are being patient. Then McAllister has given it away straight to Anderson on the far side. Let's go to Crystal Palace now. Lee Blakeman.
It's Palace 0, Leicester 1, but Nketiah on his Palace debut has looked absolutely brilliant. He's just had a shot saved by Hermansen. He's had one inside the area well blocked, and then he's just had the confidence to try an overhead kick from 8 yards out. Just cleared the crossbar though. Palace 0, Leicester 1.
Gravenberch just feeds the ball to the path of Alexander-Arnold. Then they work it back inside. Now this is Van Dijk. Diaz is the one who's wide on this near side to left. 10 minutes to go to half time. Szoboszlai is ahead of him. Ball is played inside. Nice little dummy from Robertson. The little flick by Jota to find Robertson in the channel of the penalty area, and as a result Yates had to track the run and concede the corner.
Yeah, and he tracked the run brilliantly. It's clever from Robertson. Lets the ball run beyond him into Jota, who's behind him outside of the right boot. Robertson carries his run on, and Liverpool have another corner. If there's a criticism of Liverpool in this first half, we talked the midfielders up before the game, they've just been a little bit careless with their final ball.
Well, Alexander-Arnold has sauntered his way across to take this corner kick on the near side, the left. Under 10 minutes to go to half time. Manchester City then have turned it around. Liverpool still being held by Nottingham Forest, unbeaten, remember, at the start of this season. So the left arm goes aloft. It's a right-footed in-swinger that Sells had to deal with, and he did well with it because it was curling viciously in towards the near post. He pushed it behind, 2 hands behind for another corner.
Yeah, I think it's going over the top there. He has to deal with that. It's right on top of him. Takes no chances and fists it behind.
Well, if it was as comfortable as you'd make out, he didn't necessarily need to almost clatter into the near post, which he did, as the corner is now taken short. And now with Alexander-Arnold once again, delivers another ball. Van Dijk heads it back across goal, headed away, repelled by Morello's head, drops back towards Van Dijk once again. This is Salah, right corner of the area, plays it back. Szoboszlai clips it in first time. Didn't really strike it cleanly enough, although it was a scuff clearance by Yates on the half volley, and Liverpool have it back over on that far side with Salah inside to McAllister. 8 minutes to go to the break. McAllister waits. Alexander-Arnold stayed out on the left-hand side. He now delivers the ball, and the header pushed away by Sells to keep out McAllister. Just gave himself a bit of room, got it on target. Two-handed save from the Forest keeper. Now Liverpool, can they turn the screw? Still 0-0, and the ball played early. Ola Aina deals with it. He thought he'd been fouled. It's a quick throw by Liverpool on this left-hand side. Still 0-0. No other goals elsewhere around the country to tell you about. This is Gravenberch now, forward of the centre circle, back with Alexander-Arnold, and then they just slow it down once more. Salah thought about making a run. He now backs pedal to create a bit of width to take Moreno with him.
Yeah, I've got to say the ball from Alexander-Arnold, right-footed on the left-hand side, whipped in, was superb. McAllister, header on target, going into the far corner. Sells got down well to his left-hand side, crucial save.
Gravenberch now out towards Salah. Salah tries to get the better of Moreno. Moreno, though, is equal to the task and takes it off his toes, and Murillo will run back and actually prevent it from going behind for a corner, and then clears away downfield.
Can't get out though, can they? Can't get up the pitch at this moment in time. Nottingham Forest is wave after wave.
And it's Gravenberch now who passes the ball forward, and Salah inside to Alexander-Arnold with a cut back, and on the stretch Yates gets the ball away as he falls backwards inside his own penalty area.
You feel they're building a bit of momentum now, Salah and Alexander-Arnold, that understanding.
Ball stroked in field. This is Jota, looks for a shooting opportunity, blocked well. Sells was already diving. Now it's with Luis Diaz on the left hand side. Under 7 minutes to go to half time. Diaz towards Jota. Jota back to the Colombian, who now finds Robertson, left corner of the area. Just goes underneath his right foot. McAllister was there. Ball played forward now by McAllister. Now with Konate. Van Dijk almost midway through the Forest half. McAllister able to turn. Szoboszlai drags it away from Murillo, who retreats back into position. Liverpool just outside the Forest penalty area, still 0-0. Gravenberch still no sight of goal. Has to pass it out towards the right hand side. Alexander-Arnold waits. and back with Gravenberch once again. Gravenberch shuffles the ball, delivers the cross deep. Diaz on the stretch, his head is going to drop. Sells will gather it. Oh, he's almost built it. Did that cross the line? Look at the watch by the referee, Michael Oliver, and the answer is no. That was a let-off. Goal at Walsall, Adam Whitty.
Where Bradford have equalised. Bradford 1, Walsall 1, 39 minutes gone. They've barely had a sniff, the visitors, but Ollie Sanderson set through on the breakaway and a cool finish with his right foot. It's 1-1 between Walsall and Bradford, 39 minutes gone.
Well, I'll tell you what, he wouldn't have slept had that gone in.
Well,
that was a dolly.
He wouldn't have slept for a month. Sells nearly sold the pies there. It was a header too high for Diaz, who was 8 yards beyond the far post, and he just loops a header up in the air, and it's a standard catch for a 12-year-old goalkeeper, let alone a Premier League goalkeeper, and he drops the ball in between his legs, hits him on the backside. How it doesn't go over the line, I don't know. But Matt Sells got awfully lucky.
Yes, he reacted quickly, to his credit. Rotherham 1, Burton 1. Bristol Rovers 0, Wigan 2. We're going to go racing to Doncaster in a moment, but before that we're going to try and maybe squeeze in another football report. And it's Brighton, John Southall.
It's Brighton 0, Ipswich 0, but how Brighton not ahead? Rutter with a shot denied by Muric. It fell to Matoma on the rebound. There was Muric again, back to Matoma, and he put it wide. Ipswich need to get to half-time, 0-0.
It's the St Ledger, it's at Doncaster. Darren Owen.
Yes, the final classic of the season is underway. They've got about a mile left to gallop, and over on the far side of the track it is Grosvenor Square who makes the running by a couple of lengths from the stable companion Illinois in second place. Another couple of lengths to Wild Waves, who's settled down nicely in third. Half a length to Jan Bruegel in fourth, so Aidan O'Brien responsible for three of the top four horses at the moment in the run past the mile marker. Held up to the outside is the filly You Got To Me, with Sunway to the inside running rail as they make that turn away from the back, and Dear a Mile is the back marker. About 3/4 of a mile left to go, and it's Grosvenor Square who makes the running still leads by around about a length and a half. No movement yet from behind. Illinois still holding second. Jan Bruegel, the unbeaten Jan Bruegel, is back in third. One of the outsiders, Wild Waves, sits to the inside running rail. The only filly in the lineup, You Got To Me, is alongside Sunway, and Dear a Mile is at the back, and now they're preparing to turn into the straight. They've got 5 furlongs left to go. They're about to come down this long straight at Town Moor, and it's Grosvenor Square who's got the lead in the St Ledger. From in second place, Illinois, half a mile left to run. Jan Bruegel is poised just off them, about 2 lengths off the speed. Wild Waves is to the inside. Sunway is just in behind horses. You Got To Me is beginning to improve for jockey Hector Crouch out wide, and Dear a Mile is the back marker, and they're heading now towards the final quarter of a mile, and Illinois is moving alongside and has hit the front, and now Aidan O'Brien's got the 1, 2, 3, a furlong and a half to go. It's Illinois from stable companion Jan Bruegel. These are the 2 horses who went off the joint favourites. They're battling for supremacy in the Ledger. A furlong left to go. Illinois on the rail. Jan Bruegel to the outside, trying hard. A couple of lengths away, a Sunway and Dear a Mile. It's Jan Bruegel and Illinois. Jan Bruegel by a whisker. Illinois going down, fighting on the inside. Jan Bruegel wins the Ledger. Second place goes to Illinois, and it's tight for third between Sunway and Dear a Mile. So it is Jan Bruegel. 4 straight wins for this horse, has beaten stable companion Illinois, and those 2 horses have gone off the 11-4 joint favourites. Ian.
Thank you, Darren. So Jan Bruegel wins the St Ledger at Doncaster. You haven't missed anything whilst we've been away at Anfield. Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 0. 2 minutes to go to half-time. Nottingham Forest in their sky blue shirts, playing from left to right, have a free kick just outside the centre circle. Chris Sutton.
Yes, Yates, who goes down. Another opportunity for Nottingham Forest to try and get the ball into the Liverpool box. They haven't carried a big enough threat, have they, Forest, in the first half, but they will be absolutely delighted if they can get in at half-time, at least level.
Morecambe still leading Colchester by 1-0. Have had Luke Hendry sent off late in the first half. Carlisle have got a goal back. Carlisle 1, Fleetwood Town 2, also in League 2. St Mirren 2, Kilmarnock 1, and Preston have equalised at Middlesbrough. So at the Riverside it's Middlesbrough 1, Preston North End 1 in the Championship. And in fact, Colchester have taken advantage of Morecambe being down to 10 men and have now levelled. So Morecambe 1, Colchester 1, and a yellow card is being shown here and that is to Moreno, the Forest left back, by Michael Oliver, the first booking of the game.
I think he's had a good first half, Moreno. In the main, he's dealt with Mo Salah, but he just stumbles as the ball loops up in the air. Ball bounces off him, and it's a good foul, brings Jota down when Liverpool were away.
So in the very quiet surroundings of Anfield, free kick is taken. We're into the last 60 seconds of this first half. Van Dijk out towards Jota. It's going to Selhurst Park, Lee Blakeman.
Worry for Palace. Palace 0, Leicester 1. Chet Doucouré's gone down, receiving lengthy treatment, not for the first time. He's just hobbling to this near side at the moment. Just before that, Eze with a great chance to equalise from inside the 6-yard box. His shot flashed straight across the face of goal. Palace 0, Leicester 1.
Brighton 0, Ipswich 0. Fulham still lead West Ham by a goal to 0. Manchester City, who were trailing, now lead Brentford by 2 goals to 1. Bolton 0, Huddersfield 1 is the latest score in League One, and you're up to date as we're about to find out how much added on time there will be. Van Dijk running forward, Chris Wood running back with him. Van Dijk gives the ball away. There's going to be 3 minutes of added on time. The fourth official, who is Anthony Blackhouse, is yet to emerge with the electronic scoreboard, but as if by magic, there he is.
Yep, on time. And I think this first half, Nottingham Forest, they've broken the play up, they've disrupted Liverpool's rhythm.
Well, it's a free kick that Forest are in no real hurry to take. We'll go to Manchester City again. Will Perry.
Not good news for the Brentford fans because Wissa is coming off injured. It was Kovacic, a ferocious tackle. He took ball and man, and it looks like Wissa's rolled his ankle. Kevin Schade coming on. Manchester City 2, Brentford 1.
Ryan Yates has just been shown a yellow card for time wasting. Took his time to take the free kick, then said, "Oh, I'll tell you what, Milinkovic, you take it." And as a result, Michael Oliver, he tested the patience of the match official, and so Yates has joined Moreno in the book.
Yeah, I think that's trouble for Yates, the type of player he is. He is super aggressive, so he's going to be walking a tightrope now.
Meanwhile, Forest, as there is a strong smell of salt and vinegar that has just wafted its way into our commentary position, as Aina waits to take the... Might not be many sounds in Anfield today, but there's certainly plenty of smells. As the cross is almost flicked on, and it required, I think it was Gravenberch, was it, to push the ball with an outstretched left leg behind for a corner.
Well, Alisson still hasn't had anything to do, but he would have been worried. I think it was a Van Dijk head, and Gravenberch on the edge of his 6-yard line, facing his own net. Gibbs White was in behind him. Gravenberch off his left shin gets it behind his own goal for a corner.
So Ward-Prowse to take the corner kick in first half stoppage time. Nottingham Forest in front of the Kop on this near side the right, still goalless on 5 Live in the World Service. Left arm aloft, right footed corner kick, outswinger. Van Dijk heads it away and gets plenty on it too. Ward-Prowse will get a throw though off the body of Luis Diaz, and it's a throw to Forest on the right hand side. Sometimes you tend to get games where there's a bit of a lull, don't you, after the international break?
Yep, I think there's no manager in the Premier League who likes an international break. And for a long throw again, Nottingham Forest just not found the rhythm yet, Liverpool.
Back headed by Szoboszlai, headed forward by Milinkovic. Van Dijk heads it away, hooked clear by Jota. Goes straight towards Moreno, whose anticipation gave him a head start there on Salah. Liverpool now get it back, and Jota clears it out towards the right. Salah lays it off to Szoboszlai, who plays it forward on that right hand side, but again Murillo was there and just came across and dealt with it very, very well, and effectively offside against Wood. That will be a free kick to Liverpool. Grimsby have got a goal back in League 2. Grimsby Town 1, Barrow 2. We're in first half stoppage time here. What are your thoughts then in this first half, Chris Sutton?
I think Murillo, left hand side of the Nottingham Forest defence, has had a stormer of the first half. I think Nottingham Forest going at the break level, they will be delighted. They've disrupted Liverpool, they've made it uncomfortable. Liverpool hit the post, of course, with Luis Diaz, and Jota had a golden opportunity. He should have scored from 6 yards, but I think a bit of frustration in this stadium. They haven't been at the level they showed before the international break, and they'll want to do something about it in the second half.
With the exception of the half-time whistle has sounded 0-0, with the exception of a Sells header from McAllister's, a Sells save from McAllister's header. realistically, the best chances for Liverpool have come from errors. Yates dawdled, Diaz went on to hit the post, and then a Diaz looping header and a Sells clanger almost gifted Liverpool a goal. Forest haven't created a threat, but they've made it awkward for Liverpool. Half-time at Anfield then, Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 0.
You off to find out where that salt and vinegar smell's coming from?
No, but I tell you what, it's made up my mind where I'm stopping off for my tea.
But you stop there every week. Don't pretend now that smelling salt and vinegar means you don't stop at the chippy on the way home.
I can't stop there when it's closed. But I've got into a habit now. I give them a call on my way home.
What? And get them to stay open for you?
No. Just in case I'm borderline.
Right.
Then I'll just say, by the way, I'm stopping. And if the shutters are down, they say the door will be open.
Do they have a picture of you in the chippy?
They don't even know what I do.
They will. Right, thank you. Goalless at Anfield then. Earlier in the Premier League, Southampton 0, Manchester United 3 is how it finished. Let's go round all the other 3 o'clocks. Craven Cottage, first of all, Chris Coles.
Where it's Fulham 1, West Ham 0, a deserved lead for Fulham given to them by Raul Jimenez. Sweeping in Emil Smith-Rowe's cutback. Fulham are the brighter, they're playing the better football. They're not abundantly creating, but they're doing more than enough. West Ham offering very little, unable to get their influential players into the game, and yet to register a shot on target. Fulham 1, West Ham 0.
Not quite sure how Brighton Ipswich is goalless, John.
No, but it is. Brighton 0, Ipswich 0. I think they've got their goalkeeper to thank, Ipswich, Aaron Muric, who's denied Belieber and Welbeck before a terrific double save. The first from Rutter, the rebound fell to Matoma. There was Muric again, came back to Matoma, and he put it wide. One effort for Ipswich. Sam Smodics dragged a shot wide, probably offside as well. Brighton have had 72% possession, but it's Brighton 0, Ipswich 0.
Hibs has scored on the stroke of half-time in the Scottish Premiership in the lead St Johnstone by a goal to 0. Palace may wonder how they're behind at the break. Lee Blakeman.
Absolutely. Palace 0, Leicester 1. Palace with by far and away the best chances, but Leicester with the game's only goal. And Ndidi with a nice through ball from the midfield. Vardy on the end of it, rounded Henderson. Easy finish into the empty net for Palace. And Nketiah on his debut on another day could have had a hat-trick. One block from inside the box, one save by Hermansen, an overhead kick which cleared the bar. Ez's put one straight across the face of goal from close range as well, but it's somehow Leicester who lead at half-time. Palace 0, Leicester 1.
Just going to switch to the cricket because we are on course, you would say, Henry Moran, for a Gloucestershire-Somerset Blast final.
Looking that way, Somerset beating Surrey early on today. Sussex winning the toss in the second semi-final under sunny skies in Birmingham. Well, they've struggled. 106 all out in the 19th over. They recovered from a horrible start, but they haven't recovered enough, surely. So the target for Gloucestershire to book their place in the final will be 107.
Ross County yet to win this season in the Scottish Premiership, but they lead 2-0 now at home to Dundee as they go into first half stoppage time there. Manchester City have turned things around at the Etihad. Will Perry.
Man City 2, Brentford 1. Wissa with the fastest Premier League goal this season. 22 seconds. Stones made a mess of clearing Lewis Potter's cross. Wissa headed into an empty net. Haaland levelled a deflected effort from a tight angle that beat Flecken. He then got on the end of an Ederson long pass and dinked the keeper for the lead. 9 goals from 16 shots in 3.5 games for Haaland. No one has ever scored 3 consecutive Premier League hat-tricks. It's on. Manchester City 2, Brentford 1.
In the Championship at 12:30, Leeds 0, Burnley 1, Millwall 0, Luton 1, Oxford 1, Stoke 0. Let's start the 3 o'clocks at Plymouth. John Akers.
Sunderland on their way to 5 wins in a row. They've been really good, although the penalty they scored the goal with was very soft. Mumba in the back of Chris Rigg, who just threw himself to the floor. Referee pointed the spot and Roberts put it away. He also hit the crossbar with a free kick, which Dan Grimshaw on his Argyle league debut palmed onto the crossbar. JB's had the only chance for Plymouth. Plymouth 0, Sunderland 1.
Watford haven't beaten Coventry in their last 5 meetings and they're behind at the break. Hamish Marshall.
Yeah, Coventry lead 1-0. It's not been Watford's day so far. The PA system isn't working, so no Z cars to run out to, and they've been outplayed. Ellis Sims headed Coventry's goal after 4 minutes, but Efren Mason-Clark twice and Jack Rodoni should have added to it. Georgi Shakpatadze wasted Watford's best chance when unmarked inside the box. Their 100% home record in real danger.
Blackburn on course to remain unbeaten in the Championship this season. Sani Rajavajala.
Yeah, Blackburn Rovers 1, Bristol City 0. And City like to build from the back, but it's a loose pass from keeper Max O'Leary that's the difference. Captain Lewis Travis side-footing home from just beyond the area. More precise passing in the final third could have given Rovers more. No threat so far from the away side at all. Blackburn Rovers 1, Bristol City 0.
Elsewhere at the Riverside at the break, Andy Sixsmith.
Yeah, Middlesbrough 1, Preston 1. Borough wondering how they're level at the break after Tommy Conway's second in his first 2 Riverside games gave the home side an early lead. But chance after chance came and went, and just before the break, Preston punished them. Mads Frökier controlling a lovely volleyed finish into the bottom corner. When the Preston boss said he knew how this one would go, I wonder if this one was in his predictions. Mystic Heckingbottom could have a ring to it. 1-1.
Elsewhere in the Championship, it is Derby 1, Cardiff 0. Kenzo Goodman got that goal. That's 2 for the season for him. Sheffield Wednesday 0, QPR 0, and Swansea lead Norwich by a 1-0. That was an Amankwa Forson own goal that gave Luke Williams' side the lead. Into League One in the 2 early games, Mansfield beat Cambridge by 2-1, and Wycombe won 2-1 at Northampton. At 3 o'clock, we're with Steve Bruce for his first game in charge of Blackpool, and so far it is going to plan for him. Adam Cottier.
Yes, his team lead Exeter City by 1-0. CJ Hamilton with the strike, a left-footed shot that bounced into the ground and ended up in the net after a long throw from the right had reached him in the penalty area. Blackpool have had numerous chances to add to their lead. Bruce has not left the touchline. This is what he's been missing. His team have been excellent. They lead Exeter by 1-0.
Elsewhere in League One, Bolton are in a bit of a bad spot. No win or goal in their last 3, and they're behind at the break again. Huddersfield lead there by 1-0. Josh Koroma with his 3rd of the season. It's Bristol Rovers 0, Wigan 2. Joe Hugel's got both of those. 3 for the season now for the striker who is on loan from Manchester United. Crawley 0, Stockport 1. Louis Barry with the Stockport goal. 5 for the season for him. He's on loan from Aston Villa. It's Peterborough 0, Lincoln 1. And that goal come from Ben House. That's his 3rd of the season there. Reading, who've won all 3 of their home games, are at home to Leyton Orient, who've lost all 4 of their games in League One and are bottom. And wouldn't you just know it, but Leyton Orient lead by 1-0 there. Charlie Kelman with 3 for the season now. It's Rotherham 1, Burton 1, Shrewsbury 0, Charlton 0, and Stevenage 0, Barnsley 0. In League 2 earlier, AFC Wimbledon 3, MK Dons 0, and Swindon 4, Newport 0. Adam Whitty's watching Walsall against Bradford.
Yeah, it's Walsall 1, Bradford 1 in this 5th against 6th clash. Walsall will rue a 5-minute period where they could have been 3-0 up, but instead go into the break level. Taylor Allen opened the scoring for the hosts from the spot before Nathan Lowe had 2 golden opportunities to put them clear. Ollie Sanderson made them pay with a goal on the break. Walsall 1, Bradford 1 at half-time.
Elsewhere in League 2 this afternoon, goalless between Accrington and Crewe. Bromley lead Notts County by 2-1. Michael Cheek got the first of those goals for Andy Woodman's side, and that's 4 for the season now for him. Carlisle 1, Fleetwood 2, Gillingham 0, Tranmere 0, Grimsby 1, Barrow 2. Been very eventful at Morecambe, who've got their first league goal of the season through Ben Tollett. They then had Luke Hendry sent off for 2 yellow cards, and then Awura Edwards equalised for Colchester with his 2nd of the season, and they're 1-1 there at the break. Port Vale lead Chesterfield by 1-0 thanks to Ethan Chislett's 3rd of the season. It's goalless between Salford and Cheltenham. In the National League this afternoon, Barnet 2, Braintree 1 at the break. Boston 0, Aldershot 1. Ebbsfleet, who are bottom of the table, 1. Hartlepool 0. FC Halifax 2, Eastleigh 0. Forest Green Rovers 2, Wealdstone 1. Rochdale are behind at the break. They trail at home to Solihull Moors by 1-0. It's Southend 1, Sutton 1, Tamworth 1, Maidenhead 0, Woking 0, Oldham 1, Yeovil 0, Altrincham 0. And it is York City 0, AFC Fylde 0, but Fylde are down to 10 in that game. Let's go into the Scottish Premiership. We'll go to Celtic first of all. They're at home to Hearts. Connie McLaughlin.
Yeah, half-time it's Celtic 0, Hearts 0, Mark. And the stats really do tell a story in this one. 75% possession for the home side, but only 1 shot on target. They pressed, as you would expect at home, but Hearts managed to absorb that pressure pretty successfully and almost got a breakthrough from the penalty spot. Lawrence Shankland had headed the ball against the Celtic defender Liam Scales after about 4 minutes, which to be honest felt about 45 minutes of the delay. VAR and the referee Colin Stephen had said no penalty because he said that the player and Liam Scales were too close together for it to be deemed as handball. That's a new one for me, but apparently it stands in this case. And I definitely will have to go into my drawer of football cliches for this first half, because there are plenty more minutes and plenty more football to be played in the next 45 minutes. And given the fact Aberdeen, their result or their current scoreline, it means Celtic slipped to second for the first time in a long time. Half time, Celtic 0, Hearts 0.
Yeah, because Aberdeen lead Motherwell by a goal to 0. Kenny Crawford.
All the Dons have done so far this season is win games of football, and they're on course to making it 10 out of 10. They've got Senegalese forward Papa Gueye to thank for an outstanding solo goal. He picked it up inside his own half, ran down the left, tied a defender in knots before cutting inside and firing a devastating finish in at the near post. Half-time, Aberdeen 1, Motherwell 0.
Elsewhere in the Scottish Premiership, Hibs lead St Johnstone by a goal to 0. Ross County are on for their first league win of the season. They lead Dundee 2-0, and St Mirren are 2-1 up at home to Kilmarnock. And Kilmarnock are down to 10 in that game as well. In the Championship today, Airdrieonians 0, Falkirk 0, Ayr lead Partick by a goal to 0. Goalless between Livingston and Hamilton, and Queen's Park are 1-0 up on Morton. In League 1, Alloa 0, Inverness 1, Annan 0, Dumbarton 1, Dumbarton down to 10 in that game. Kelty Hearts 0, Cove Rangers 1, Montrose 2, Stenhousemuir 0, and Queen of the South 1, Arbroath 1. In League 2 this afternoon, Clyde 0, Edinburgh City 0, Elgin 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 0, Peterhead leads Stirling by a goal to 0. Spartans and Forfar are goalless, and Stranraer are a goal up on East 5. Let's go to the Solheim Cup, where Europe just about lead this foursome session as it comes to a close. Ian Carter.
Much better from Europe so far today, and Anna Nordqvist and Celine Boutier closing in on victory on Lilia Vu and Sarah Schmetzel. 4 up with 5 to play in that one. The Americans only ahead in 1, 3 up with 4 to play for Thompson and Coughlin against Stark and Georgia Hall. Esther Heinslet and Charlie Hull, they're 1 up with 3 to play against Ewing and Kupcho. And the top match, that's all square with 2 to play. That's Nelly Corder and Alison Corpus for the United States against Pedersen and Sigander for Europe.
Gloucestershire will need 107 to beat Sussex in the Blast and go on to face Somerset in this evening's final. Somerset earlier beat Surrey by 6 wickets. In the Rugby Union this afternoon, England's women lead New Zealand 24-12. You can watch that on BBC One. Ireland's women lead Australia by 24 points to 5. You're up to date with all the sport. Back at Anfield shortly after Jill Mackenzie.
The voice of the UK. And the home of the Premier League. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thousands of people have turned out for the funeral of the Olympic athlete Rebecca Cheptegei, who was killed by a former boyfriend. He set her on fire at her home in Kenya, where she was training. President Zelensky's again asked for more air defences and long-range weapons. Sir Keir Starmer and President Biden met last night to discuss whether to let Ukraine use Western long-range missiles to hit targets inside Russia. No decision's been announced. Government analysis shows an estimated 780,000 pensioners in England and Wales will lose the winter fuel payment because they're not likely to apply for benefits they're entitled to. The government says the cut is needed to stabilise public finances. One of England's biggest school trusts is banning mobile phones during the school day. Ormiston Academy's trust says they disrupt students' learning and well-being. And Strictly Come Dancing is back tonight after months of controversy over the treatment of some contestants. The BBC says there are new welfare measures to make sure the 15 celebrities are looked after.
This is 5 Live Sports with Mark Chapman. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Said it's going very well for England's women in the Rugby Union. Let's get details of that from James.
24 points to 12, the Red Roses lead. In fact, they might be extending that mark. They've just been pulled back 5 metres short. But actually, the second half has belonged to the Black Ferns. 2 fabulous tries from their left winger, Caitlin Viola-Coho. The second, beautiful interlinking play between forwards and backs. And England slightly careless, losing their focus. But the last 2 or 3 minutes, they've managed to switch momentum back their way. They lead 24 points to 12. 13 minutes to go till full time.
A couple of other sports stories from earlier. Jan Bruegel won the St Leger at Doncaster. And for tomorrow's Azerbaijan Grand Prix, of which you can hear commentary on 5 Live from midday, Charles Leclerc is on pole. Max Verstappen, the championship leader, is back in 6th. Goalless at Anfield at the break. Then we could do with some excitement in the second half, or otherwise someone's mind is going to start drifting off to his chippy tea. Ian Dennis.
Thank you, Mark. Yes, Liverpool are out. No changes have been made by the home side, all in red. So I can tell you that it's Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk, Konate, Robertson, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, McAllister, front three of Salah, Jota and Diaz. Nottingham Forest in their change strip, the sky blue shirts and the white shorts, likewise have made no alterations. So Sells in goal, Aina, Milinkovic, Murillo and Moreno. The defence, Yates, Ward-Prowse, Dominguez, Anderson, Gibbs-White and Chris Wood. And from Chris Wood to Chris Sutton.
Yeah, well, looks like some of the Liverpool players in that first half are still on some sort of break. I think it's so important. They've had a great start to the season. Spoken about the international break being disruptive for all teams, but you feel there are more gears for Liverpool to go through in this second half. They need to go up a level or two, play with greater intensity and greater care on the ball in the final third. So many misplaced passes in that first half.
Well, Michael Oliver has just blown the whistle, so the game has restarted, and as this game has restarted, it's restarted with a bang at Palace. Lee Blakeman.
Palace 0, Leicester 2, goal for Mavididi 20 seconds into the second half, ball from the right. Palace had two opportunities to clear it, didn't take either, and Mavididi rammed it into the net to make it Palace 0, Leicester 2.
Managed, of course, by the former Nottingham Forest boss Steve Cooper, and that is certainly an excellent start to the second period for Leicester City. Liverpool then attacking the Kop end here at Anfield. A lot more blue sky up above, but the sun for the time being has disappeared. On a bright afternoon on Merseyside as Alexander-Arnold caught in possession, and now Anderson will run forward for Forest, but Alexander is back goal side, and as he turns, it's Alexander-Arnold who puts the ball out of play, and it's a Forest throw. Shrewsbury 0, Charlton Athletic 1. Charlton 5th in the table. Nathan Jones, their manager. Good start to the season, and they are ahead at Shrewsbury in League One. The big game is Birmingham Wrexham. That takes place on Monday night, and Forest in no hurry to take this throw. Moreno goes down the line, headed away by Gravenberch. Bromley 2, Notts County 2 is the latest score in League 2. Chris Sutton.
I was just going to say Elliot Anderson throwing himself to the floor there. I think from Nuno Espirito Santo, his point of view, the first half pretty much perfect, but they need to carry more of a threat themselves. They've set up to hang on in this game. They've really narrowed up that midfield and said to Liverpool, if you want to take anything, we'll let you have the ball in wide areas to throw the ball in and we'll deal with it.
Another goal at Selhurst Park, Lee Blakeman.
Well, it's been ruled out. It's still Palace 0, Leicester 2. Tyreek Mitchell with a low cross from the left. Side foot finish by Mateta. Offside flag went up straight away. VAR getting involved, having a long look, but at the moment it's still Palace 0, Leicester 2.
Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Ipswich Town 0, Crystal Palace 0, Leicester City 2. Fulham lead West Ham United by a goal to 0. Manchester City were behind, but now lead Brentford by 2 goals to 1. Erling Haaland with both the goals, as Szoboszlai finds Salah on this near side, slides it through. Milinkovic steps forward, finds Moreno, and can now run clear of Salah on this left hand side, but his ball infield dealt with by Van Dijk. Pops the ball up into the air to Gravenberch. Wigan have got a third at Bristol Rovers. Bristol Rovers 0, Wigan 3. Gillingham 1, Tranmere Rovers 0 is the latest score at Priestfield. And that sending off for Luke Hendry proving costly for Morecambe. They were leading by a goal to 0, but bottom of the table, still without a win. At least they've scored their first goal of the season, but it's now Morecambe 1, Colchester United 2 in League 2. 3 minutes into the second half. Still, the atmosphere is rather flat, isn't it, inside Anfield?
It is. I think it's one of those where the support want to see the team really quicken the game up, quicken the tempo up. At this moment in time, Nottingham Forest really nullifying the threat of Liverpool. Got to say, the Forest fullbacks, Aina and Moreno, have coped so well with the Liverpool wide men, Diaz and Mo Salah, so far.
Arne Slot watching on, standing up in his technical area, as this is Dominguez running forward. Finds Anderson now for Forest. didn't really have much of a threat in front of goal, but they passed the ball forward, and Liverpool have got a number of red shirts back now with Gibbs White, and Forest still have possession. It remains 0-0. Back to Palace. Lee Blakeman.
Mateta's goal's being given. Palace 1, Leicester 2. Long VAR check, but the Mitchell cross onside. Mateta just stayed the right side as well, so it's given. 2 goals in the first 3 minutes in the second half. Palace 1, Leicester 2.
Liverpool have been awarded a free kick, but it's certainly been a lethargic start to this second half.
That's Yates. I mentioned him in the first half. Clumsy challenge there. He's on a yellow card. He needs to be careful.
Yeah. Well, bearing in mind that even before his yellow card, I think it caught McAllister, one with a bit of a late challenge, then another with a flailing arm. So Yates is certainly putting himself around a bit this afternoon. John Southall at the Amex, Brighton Ipswich.
It's 0-0, but Brighton have come flying out of the traps in the second half. Welbeck with a shot blocked, Rutter with a deflected effort wide. Surely the goal's coming. Brighton 0, Ipswich 0.
Moreno's kept the ball in play. He runs forward for Forest. Konate goes towards him. He threads it through, up in the air by Dominguez, and it's offside, and it'll be a free kick to Liverpool. Carlisle United 2, Fleetwood Town 2. Liverpool looking to try and attack quickly. Salah is forced out wide on this near right hand side. Let's get an update in the Solheim Cup. Ian Carter.
First point of the morning session goes to the United States. Thompson and Coughlin beat Stark and Hall 4-3. The overall score now, United States 7, Europe 2.
And a reminder that Ian and the team from 8:30 on 5 Live after 6:06 will bring you news on that second day live coverage on 5 Live later on. That was a heavy forward ball by Robertson, straight through towards Matt Sells. A goal at Ewood Park. Sane Rodavagila.
Blackburn Rovers 2, Bristol City 0. Fantastic work by Tyrese Dolan, winning the ball, carrying it to the edge of the area and playing it through to Yuki Ohashi for his 4th of the season. Blackburn Rovers 2, Bristol City 0.
In League 2, Salford City 0, Cheltenham Town 1 is the latest score, as Liverpool still being held by Forest. Attack now with Luis Diaz. Left corner of the penalty area, too quick. Jota couldn't take it into his stride as he ran in towards the penalty area. But Luis Diaz then gets in the way of Robertson, and the move breaks down, and there is Gibbs White for Forest. Ward-Prowse's ball won back by a sliding Van Dijk. Yates concedes a throw. Liverpool trying to step it up.
Yeah, brilliant anticipation from Van Dijk. Chris Wood, that right hand side would have been away, but Van Dijk anticipated, got there first.
Plymouth Argyle have equalised at home to Sunderland. It's 1-1 at Home Park in the Championship. This is Salah, done well. Salah shoots, goes to the near post. Sells beats it away behind and parries it for a corner kick.
Yeah, smart from Sells at his near post. Salah shaping to go inside on that hammer of a left foot which he has, and then driving the outside. I think he should pull this back. Tries to beat the goalkeeper at his near post, goes for power. It's a good save, but a save I suppose you'd expect him to make.
Nuno Espirito Santo, his record in losing all 7 in the Premier League as a manager against Liverpool. An aggregate score of 13 conceded and only the 1 goal that his sides have scored. We'll be hoping they can keep out this corner kick near side the right in front of the Kop. Alexander-Arnold swings it over. Jota climbs early and his header goes out of play for a goal kick. So let's get news of that Plymouth equaliser from John Akers.
It's Plymouth 1, Sunderland 1. Plymouth's equaliser coming from a Morgan Whittaker volley which pinged off the underside of the crossbar, and running back to try and clear was Ballard. Came off his thigh and went into his own goal. An own goal for Ballard. Plymouth 1, Sunderland 1.
Nottingham Forest are going to be making a change. No surprise, I said in the first half that players such as Elanga or Hudson-Odoi might be coming on, and Hudson-Odoi is going to be coming on in the 8th minute of the second half for Dominguez.
Yeah, well, mentioned towards the end of the first half, Nottingham Forest, they struggle to get up the pitch. Hudson-Odoi, the ball carrier, he's a dribbler. Try and get the ball out to him. Got to say, Dominguez worked hard, but really offered very little threat going forward.
Been a goal at Parkhead. Conor McLaughlin.
Celtic 1, Hearts 0. It's from the penalty spot. The new £11 million signing, Arne Engels, got the ball into the back of the net after it was James Penrice whose hand had managed to hit the ball after the cross in from Nicholas Kuhn. Celtic 1, Hearts 0.
Alexander-Arnold, early ball. Salah unmarked, right corner of the area. Salah just too far ahead of Szoboszlai.
That's the story, Ian. Sorry for interrupting.
Oh, you fire away.
Of Liverpool this whole game. Salah easy pass, 5-yard pass, misses it. Having so many times in the first half is something which needs to change for Liverpool. They need to take more care in the final third.
Stevenage are leading Barnsley by 1-0 in League One, but that has happened time and time again in this game so far for Liverpool. McAllister running back.
You expect the odd one, of course that happens, but it's been continuous.
McAllister couldn't take it into feet. Yates foul by referee, says referee Michael Oliver. Free kick then to the away side. Earlier in the Premier League, Southampton 0, Manchester United 3. Certainly a missed penalty there proved costly. Archer missing the target, and means that Southampton winless in 16 games against Manchester United, who ran out 3-0 winners. The results in the Championship: Leeds 0, Burnley 1, Millwall 0, Luton 1, Oxford 1, Stoke 0. In League One, the results: Mansfield beat Cambridge 2-1 at Sixfields. It was Northampton 1, Wycombe 2. AFC Wimbledon beat MK Dons 3-0 in League 2, and Swindon trounced Newport 4-0. Liverpool are attacking. This is the Premier League. Szoboszlai just stepping out of defence, easy for Ola Aina. And now all of a sudden Forest now get it forward towards Gibbs White. There's a man over. If he can find Wood hits it first time, saved by Allison. What a chance for Forest. Allison with a save.
They've worked it brilliantly, but Szoboszlai's such a sloppy pass out left. Aina intercepted with ease, and then Forest are away. Counter-attack. Gibbs White took the ball in brilliantly, fed it to the left-hand side of the box. Chris Wood had peeled away. I think we were both expecting the back of the net to bulge, tried to bend it into the far corner, but Allison got down smartly to his left-hand side. I don't think Chris Wood should be giving the goalkeeper any chance, albeit it was a brilliant save from Allison.
Certainly was. Is it a chance that they will rue? We will have to wait and see. It remains 0-0 between Liverpool and Forest 10 minutes into the second half. There are no other goals to tell you about in the football, but there has been a change in the Solheim Cup. Our correspondent Ian Carter.
First win of the day for Europe. Anna Nordqvist and Celine Boutier beating Lilia Vu and Sarah Schmetzel 4-3. Overall score now: United States 7, Europe 3.
Mentioned a couple of times coverage at 8:30 on 5 Live, but there will be coverage from 5 o'clock on the BBC Sport website and app for the Solheim Cup. Rotherham 2, Burton 1, Bromley 2, Notts County 3. The latest scores in League 1 and League 2 respectively. Manchester City still lead Brentford 2-1. Fulham have a slender lead at home to West Ham. Crystal Palace have got a goal back as they trail 2-1 to Leicester City at Selhurst Park. No goals at the Amex between Brighton and Ipswich, and it remains goalless here at Anfield as Murillo to Milinkovic. They look a good central defensive partnership, don't they?
They absolutely do. Murillo really, especially has that blistering pace. He's a powerhouse. Milinkovic has been very assured.
No surprise that he was the supporters' player of the year last year. He really did make an impact after his arrival from Corinthians. As Jota goes on a run, Ola Aina stands firm on the edge of the penalty area. Aina should be able to deal with this. Passes the ball in field to Hudson-Odoi. We'll go back to Craven Cottage. Chris Coles.
Fulham 1, West Ham 0. Better from West Ham. They made a double change at half-time. Somerville and Paquetá on, and Jared Bowen's just created their best opportunity. It fell to him, but a brilliant save from Leno 6 yards out. Fulham 1, West Ham 0.
Gibbs wide in the centre circle. Tries to roll it out to Hudson-Odoi. Didn't get too much pace on the ball. Allowed Robertson to step out of defence on that left-back area. Now with Gravenberch to run forward in the weak autumnal sunshine at Anfield. Back to Gravenberch in the shadows of the Kop. Passes the ball forward. Robertson was the player who's trying to pick out just outside the D. Flat-footed, runs through to the keeper.
Yeah, Andy Robertson in a central striking position had drifted forward. Gravenberch, good first touch with his left foot. Intricate pass between a couple of Nottingham Forest defenders, but too heavy.
The crowd all of a sudden, you sense a little bit more urgency from the Anfield faithful. Stevenage 2, Barnsley 0, a latest score from Broadhall Way in League 1. Activity on the bench down below. Connor Bradley. Darwin Núñez has got a good record, scored in both the games against Forest last season. Forest fans will not need reminding of his 99th minute winner, a header at the City Ground.
What a header that was, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Cody Gakpo is the other player who's going to be coming on. Szoboszlai tries to get on the outside of Moreno, but Moreno again standing firm. Bolton Wanderers 0, Huddersfield Town 2 is a latest score. And we will go to Brighton and John Southall.
Brighton 0, Ipswich 0, but a rare Ipswich chance. Liam Delap picked up the ball in his own half, just kept going into the area on the right, tight angle. His shot hit the left-hand post. The Ipswich fans behind the goal thought he'd scored. Brighton 0, Ipswich 0.
Triple change here, and whilst it happens, very, very soon, we'll get the team news from our 5:30 commentary at Villa Park with Conor McNamara.
Yes, and each team makes one change here. For Aston Villa, it's Aaron Ramsey who comes in place of Leon Bailey. For Everton, the changes in defence. Seamus Coleman, who was injured on international duty with the Republic of Ireland, is out, but Ashley Young returns for Everton today.
And there's going to be, thank you Conor, Paul Robinson in commentary duties with Conor after Sports Report 5:30 on BBC Radio 5 Live. Ilanga is going to be coming on as well, but first we've got this triple change for Liverpool. Nunez, Bradley and Gakpo coming on, and it's going to be McAllister and Jota and Diaz who are going off.
Well, I think Jota's a poor decision to take off because he's my FPL captain, Ian, so that's another disappointing FPL day, fantasy football day for me. But Nunez does have plenty to offer, doesn't he? That physicality. I think Jota has been off the pace. Diaz coming off for Gakpo. Just think it's a case of fresh legs for Liverpool.
And then Alexander-Arnold will now go into midfield with Conor Bradley at right back, and Forrest are making a change. Ilanga for Anderson. So still Elliot Anderson is yet to score in the Premier League. That's 48 games now for the former Newcastle player. Wicket at the cricket, Melissa Story.
Well, Gloucestershire, they've lost their first wicket in their chase of 107. Miles Hammond dismissed for 7, but they only require a further 90 runs, Gloucestershire, to get through to the final.
Commentary continues on Sports Extra.
You know what, my worry for Nottingham Forest, I think this is a gamble. Nuno Espirito Santo has got more attacking players on, but suspect there'll be more spaces for Liverpool to capitalise on now.
Gakpo far side the left in front of the Sir Kenny Dalglish stand. Szoboszlai chips the ball out towards Salah. Salah quickly closed down by Moreno, gets it footed into the challenge, and out it goes for a throw.
So Hudson-Odoi's come over onto the left-hand side for Nottingham Forest. Alanga off the right. They'll be able to carry more of a threat going forward, but will they be disciplined defensively?
Bradley swings over the cross. Aina's tucked in. The right back for Forest heads it away towards Ilanga with his pace, and he was just caught by Robertson. Referee Michael Oliver will show a yellow card to the Liverpool left back, but it's how we thought, those players on the bench, bring them on if still in the game, and Forest certainly are very much in this game.
Yeah, and this is what Ilanga offers off that right hand side. He's a dribbler, can get you up the pitch and pushes the ball past Robertson, who hacks him down. Easy decision for Michael Oliver to make. Yellow card.
Peterborough United have equalised at home to Lincoln City. That's 1-1 at London Road. Hudson-Odoi stopped by Bradley. Gillingham are down to 10 men. They are leading at home to Tranmere Rovers, but Ethan Coleman has been sent off in that game in League 2, where Gillingham started the day 4th in the table, just 2 points behind the leaders Doncaster. Salford have equalised also in that division at home to Cheltenham. Salford City 1, Cheltenham 1. 63 minutes played, still 0-0. What's the latest at Manchester City? Will Perry.
Manchester City 2, Brentford 1. Savinho booked for simulation in the Brentford box. 2 City half-time subs, Vardiol and Rodri on for Lewis and Kovacic. Rodri's first City appearance since the FA Cup final. Manchester City 2, Brentford 1.
And next weekend, Manchester City-Arsenal is the game. We'll have that, of course, on BBC Radio 5 Live. We've got the North London derby tomorrow. But here at Anfield, it's Ilanga on the counter-attack, making good headway on that right-hand side. Passes the ball into a central area to find Gibbs-White. Gibbs-White now out to Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi on this near side, the left. And this is Gibbs-White. Dwelt on the ball too long, and he loses it. Morecambe 1, Colchester United 3 is the latest score in League 2. Liverpool now are attacking. Szoboszlai to Darwin Nunez. Darwin Nunez in field. Murillo is there to clear. Full time in the rugby. James Burridge.
Red Roses 21, Black Ferns 12. England's second successive defeat of the world champions. All the damage done in the first half. Abby Dow scored the pick of the bunch, and despite a New Zealand comeback, 2 tries and Caitlin Vahokolo, England managed to turn the screw in the second. They dominated territory and their defence was watertight. This was an impressive performance from John Mitchell's side.
Liverpool have only lost one of their last 24 in the Premier League after an international break. That was actually against Manchester City. At Anfield after an international break, they've not lost for 10 years against Aston Villa. They're not losing here, but to drop points against Nottingham Forest would feel like a real setback even in the early stages.
That was pretty useless though.
Here is Bradley to the edge of the area. Now finds Salah. Salah with the cross.
There we go.
Another misplaced pass.
There we go. Yeah, that final ball. I've got to say, Forest have defended superbly. You've spoken about the centre-back partnership. They've been brilliant. Milenkovic and Murillo. Aina's been outstanding at right back in those 1v1 duels. Moreno at left back. But Liverpool have had opportunities to make that final ball, and it just hasn't happened.
Goal of Vicarage Road, Hamish Marshall.
Watford are level 1-1 against Coventry. It's been coming. Chance after chance in the second half. Finally, Tom Dele-Bashiri in at the back post for that equaliser. Watford 1, Coventry 1.
Ball runs through to Alisson, all in black, with his long joggers on. Just touches the ball to Van Dijk. Bradley, the right back, the substitute, the Northern Ireland international. 65 minutes played, 0-0. The point I was trying to make was that it will feel like a defeat.
Well, yeah, just make it a bit clearer then.
I thought I had actually, but still.
I've missed you.
I'd like to say the same. Van Dijk to Konate. You know I wasn't being truthful there, I've missed you too. Here is Salah, edge of the area. Salah's shot well wide, screwed it well off target, goal kick. John Southall at Brighton.
Brighton 0, Ipswich 0. Brighton about to make a triple change here, but you just sense a bit more belief in Ipswich here. Brighton 0, Ipswich 0.
So Brighton and Ipswich is goalless, as it is here at Anfield. Crystal Palace 1, Leicester City 2, Fulham 1, West Ham 0, Manchester City 2, Brentford 1. We've got commentary from Villa Park. Aston Villa, Everton to come after Sports Report. Carlisle United 2, Fleetwood Town 3 is a latest score in League 2. And to Ewood Park, Sani Rodavacula.
Blackburn Rovers 3, Bristol City 0, and Yuki Yohashi has a fifth of the season. He scored the exact same goal with his right foot. He's done it with his left, curling into the top corner from the edge of the area. Excellent by him. Blackburn Rovers 3, Bristol City 0.
Whilst we're away, Matt Sells has been shown a yellow card by Michael Oliver for delaying the restart, the third Forest player to be booked this afternoon.
Was that a little bit harsh from Michael Oliver? I thought it was. I mean, he doesn't have to sprint, does he?
Well, if you delay the restart, you delay the restart.
Okay.
Something I think the Premier League are keen to crack down on. You know, I can't multitask, so when you ask me a question like that, I miss the instruction where we're going to go next. Lee Blakeman, Selhurst Park.
Palace 1, Leicester 2. Couple of chances for Leicester to restore their 2-goal advantage. James Justin's fired over from the edge of the area. Here comes Palace there with Nketiah, and he's just fired it wide of the bottom corner. Finally poised this game. Palace 1, Leicester 2.
Hudson-Odoi is away from Bradley, left-hand side for Forest. Cuts the ball back, edge of the area. Here is Wood. Gibbs-White passes the ball quickly. Ilanga with a shot. Slashed at it. Right-footed, inside right channel. What a good break by Nottingham Forest. Couldn't take advantage.
Best move of the game from Nottingham Forest. First of all, the ball out to the left-hand side. Hudson-Odoi takes it brilliantly. It's fizzed in by Yates. He gets away from Bradley. Drives on the inside. Gets his head up. Finds Chris Wood on the edge of the D, who pops the ball back to Gibbs-White, who feeds it out to Ilanga. 12 yards out. Bit of an angle against him, high and wide. He's got to hit the target and work Alisson, but that's their danger now. Forest have got the flair players on.
Liverpool are not creating this second half. You had the Salah effort early in the second half that was saved by Sells at his near post. Since then, the two best chances in this second period have come to Nottingham Forest. Crawley Town 1, Stockport County 1. So Stockport County have been pegged back, second this morning, 3 points off Wrexham. And Bolton Wanderers 0, Huddersfield Town 3 is a latest score also in League One. Hudson-Odoi's ball headed firmly away by Van Dijk, only as far as Gibbs-White. Looks for Ward-Prowse to help out in the centre circle. Nunez now takes over. The Liverpool crowd urge Nunez on as he runs forward on that left-hand side, but he's got to get past Aina first of all. He rolls it inside towards Robertson, and there was Ilanga coming back, and they give the ball inexplicably away as the shot is drilled in by Alexander-Arnold. Takes the deflection behind for a corner. We'll get a quick update with Ian Carter in the goal.
Session completed here, a win apiece in the final 2 matches for the 2 sides, so it means that we are now at 8 points to 4 in favour of the United States, heading into the afternoon 4 balls.
Thank you, Ian. Bristol Rovers 0, Wigan 4 is a latest score in League One. Corner kick here, just over 20 minutes remaining to Liverpool. Still 0-0. Manchester City, as it stands, were the only side in the Premier League with a 100% winning start to this new campaign. Liverpool looking to try and find a way through. Nottingham Forest have got every sky blue shirt back inside their penalty area to deal with this corner kick in front of the Kop. Liverpool attacking from left to right, and it goes towards the near post, and it was swept away on the half volley inside the 6-yard area by Aina. And now with Robertson with the cross, that was blocked. It's going to go to play for a throw that they take quickly. They're looking to try and maintain the pressure. We're going to Home Park in a moment, where there has been a significant change. There's a low ball in, cleared on the stretch by Yates, but they can't get it away, Forest. They're being pushed back now, as this is with Gravenberch to the edge of the area, softly into the arms of Sells. So you've had a penalty, John Akers. What was the outcome?
Plymouth have scored and they lead 2-1. Ian, Ryan Hardy rolled it into the corner. Plymouth could be on the way to their first win of the season. Plymouth 2, Sunderland 1.
Yep, drawn 2 and lost 2 in their previous 4 games in the Championship. Sunderland, who were leading, now Wayne Rooney's side turned that one around. Rotherham 2, Burton Albion 2 is the latest score in League One. Under 20 minutes remaining here at Anfield, and we're going to be seeing Kostas Tsimikas going to be waiting to come on for another change. Arne Slot trying to get his instructions across. Nuno Espirito Santo looks very, very content down there for Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, he does do. Got to say, James Ward-Prowse for Nottingham Forest in the midfield has been brilliant, sitting in front of the back 4. We know he has a wonderful range of passing. I think that's a really clever piece of business.
That's the voice of Chris Sutton on BBC Radio 5 Live, also live on the World Service and available on the BBC Sounds app. You can take the commentary wherever you go, as Liverpool come forward now with Nunez. Nunez 25 yards out to Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai, Alexander-Arnold, central area, playing is now in midfield. To the left back, Robertson with his back to goal. There was no width as a result of that, so they had to go back. Van Dijk forward, Alexander-Arnold runs to Nunez, looking to turn. Milinkovic was certainly very, very strong in defence, and there's a break on now here for Forest with Elanga. Tries to switch play from right to left and finds Hudson-Odoi. He's got Gibb White going ahead of him. Hudson-Odoi comes in field, and Hudson-Odoi with a super goal. Right-footed, finds the bottom right-hand corner. They haven't won at Anfield for 55 years, but they've taken the lead here. Hudson-Odoi with a super goal, stuns Anfield. Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1.
Well, Nuno Espirito Santo, he gambled, didn't he, with his subs, put them on, went for it, and it was Elanga on the right-hand side. Brilliant crossfield ball to Hudson-Odoi, who's always going to try and come inside on his right foot. Bradley lets him come on the inside, but the finish from 20 yards is brilliant. It really is. Bends the ball into the far corner. Allison nowhere near it. It's a wonderful finish. This is a smash and grab from Nottingham Forest. They've still got work to do, but the game plan has been carried out to perfection.
Absolutely it has. It was a game plan that we talked about in the first half. It's been executed, and Hudson-Odoi, who scored 7 goals in his final 16 Premier League games last season, only 5 in his previous 85. Here you have Nuno Espirito Santo. We talked about he's getting a tune out of Chris Wood. There's proof he's getting a tune out of Hudson-Odoi. And all of a sudden, Nottingham Forest have got something to protect. 17 minutes remain, and they've created the better chances second half.
Yeah, they absolutely have. I mentioned the game plan, stay in the game. In that first half, they did got the flair players on. And boy, did they link up well. The finish is so good. It's exquisite from 20 yards. Goes in off the far post. Allison absolutely no chance. But that's their threat on the counter-attack. Ball carriers get them up the pitch. They've taken their chance.
Curtis Jones is going to be coming on. He's yet to appear at all this season. But what a scoreline here at Anfield. Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. 16 minutes remaining of normal time. Let's go to Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace, Leicester City. Lee Blakeman.
Palace 1, Leicester 2. Leicester have just had a good opportunity though. Skip, nice 1-2 with Vardy inside the area, but the final ball got away from him. Still in the balance, there's Palace 1, Leicester 2.
So, Will Perry, Manchester City could be the only team with 4 wins from 4.
Yeah, and here comes Grealish, cross into the box. It's behind for a City corner. 2 excellent Flecken saves to keep Brentford in the game. Outstretched to deny Grealish, and instinctive to stop the Haaland hat-trick for now. Next goal's crucial. City 2, Brentford 1.
Curtis Jones is going to be coming on for Konate. We'll wait to see who Tsimikas will be coming on as well. It'll be for Robertson, who's the other player who's going to be coming off. So that double change being made. Now we're getting to that frenetic period of the afternoon with 15 minutes remaining. Let's get an update from Fulham. Chris Coles.
Fulham still leading West Ham by 1-0, and Fulham have done a pretty good job of quelling the West Ham threat, which had been considerable after half-time. Indeed, Fulham should be 2 up. Emil Smith-Rowe smashing a close-range effort straight at his own player, who couldn't get out of the way. Fulham 1, West Ham 0.
The Hudson-Odoi goal means that the only goalless game, surprise, surprise, is with you, John Southall.
It is. Brighton 0, Ipswich 0, 74 minutes gone. Not sure how it is, though. Amari Hutchinson ran from his own area to the edge of the Brighton one, ran out of steam. Weak shot. Brighton 0, Ipswich 0. Goals to come.
Forest fans are in fine voice in the Anfield Road end away towards our left-hand side with a quarter of an hour remaining on 5 Live in the World Service. Latest scores then in the Scottish Premiership: Aberdeen 1, Motherwell 0. Celtic leading Hearts by 1-0, so both sides still looking to make it 5 wins from 5. Hibs 1, St Johnstone 0, Ross County 2, Dundee 0, St Mirren 2, Kilmarnock 2, but Kilmarnock are down to 10 men after that sending off from Joe Wright at half-time. Give you the latest scores in League 2, League 1 and the Championship in a moment. Don't forget Sports Report with Mark Chapman at 5. With all the results, as much reaction as we can before Aston Villa Everton at 5:30 with Conor McNamara and Paul Robinson. Yeah, but Liverpool trailing. Chris Sutton.
Well, and they've gone to a back 3 now, taking off Konate.
Here is Szoboszlai to Salah on this near side, the right. Salah goes for goal, left-footed, straight at the goalkeeper. You can hear the disgruntlement from the crowd here at Anfield. So the 2 results in League 2 were Wimbledon 3, MK Dons 0, Swindon 4, Newport 0. Latest scores: Accrington 0, Crewe 0, Bromley 2, Notts County 3, Carlisle 2, Fleetwood 3, Gillingham leading Tranmere by 1-0, but they're down to 10 men. Ethan Coleman sent off. Grimsby 1, Barrow 2. Morecambe have scored their first goal of their League 2 campaign, but familiar feeling they're still behind. Morecambe 1, Colchester 3, Port Vale 1, Chesterfield 0, Salford 1, Cheltenham 1, Walsall 1, Bradford City 1. It's going to be a triple change in the offing for Nottingham Forest as well. Nico Williams, the former Liverpool player, I can see is one of the players coming on as Aina volleys the ball away towards Ward-Prowse, and then he clears long, headed back by Van Dijk. Gibbs-White doing well and winning a throw for Nottingham Forest on this left-hand side. So we're going to see Nico Williams.
You had that stat as well, didn't you? That good stat. Which
well, I was ahead of my time.
Not for the first time.
I think Pep Guardiola was praised for being ahead of the curve. Not that I'm one to blow my own trumpet. Morato is going to be coming on, who's a Brazilian defender that they actually signed from Benfica for just over £12.5 million. Former Brazilian youth international. That'll be a Forest debut for him. 6'4", so he's going to shore up the defence. Nico Williams likewise. And then the other player who's going to be coming on is Jota Silva, who scored that fine goal against Newcastle in the League Cup. Forest leading 1-0. And Liverpool misfiring second half. Hibs 2, St Johnstone 0 is the latest score in the Scottish Premiership. Got all the League 1 and the Championship scores still to rattle through. We've got 12 minutes remaining. Thing is, you don't sense that Liverpool look like scoring.
No, and I've got to say, I can't quite work out what system they are playing. They've definitely gone to a back 3. I think Trent may just be out as a right wing back now, but I think they're just trying to overload the middle of the park.
Gravenberg holds off Gibbs-White, still chasing, still harrying. Ball hit early by Alexander-Arnold. That was a tired looking clearance, went straight out of play. In fact, it was caught by Arne Slot inside his technical area. Tosses the ball to Moreno, but defensively they've been so solid, haven't they? Moreno left back, Murillo, I know you're a big fan of.
Yeah, and well, Aina in those 1v1 situations, the right back has been sensational.
Gravenberch turns, gives it away, still ferreting around there in the midfield is Yates to Hudson-Odoi, the goal scorer, looks to go on the outside of Bradley, checks back, Bradley back, goal side. Boris though lead by a goal to nil. Then he goes on the outside of Bradley. Hudson-Odoi goes down under the challenge. Michael Oliver had a look at that and said no penalty. Let's get an update from Manchester City. Will Perry.
Still 2-1 City. Savinho should have his first Manchester City goal. Vardiol bursting into the box, picked out the Brazilian, and there was just Flecken to deny him with his outstretched leg. City 2, Brentford 1.
How quickly this restarts will tell you how seriously Graham Scott's looking at this penalty appeal through VAR.
Well, Hudson-Odoi went on the inside and bent the ball in for Nottingham Forest goal. Drives the outside, sets Bradley up, drives the outside. He goes down. Was there sufficient contact? I'm not so sure there was. Went down maybe a little bit too easily, trying to buy it. No penalty awarded so far.
Aberdeen, who've been matching Celtic stride for stride at the top. There's been another goal at Pittodrie, Kenny Crawford.
And it's another goal for Papa Gueye, the Senegalese forward. Aberdeen 2, Motherwell 0. He was on hand to head in from close range after Nicky Devlin's shot had been saved. Aberdeen 2, Motherwell 0.
So Jota Silva comes on for Chris Wood in attack. Morato comes on for Morgan Gibbs-White, so that's a defensive move, central defender there for Gibbs-White, and Nico Williams will slot in instead of Moreno at left back. Bolton Wanderers 0, Huddersfield Town 4 is the latest score in League One. You're up to date. In fact, I've still got to get through League One and the Championship with 9 minutes remaining of those latest scores. But Forest 1-0 up here. This would be a real coupon buster, I would suggest, as the ball goes back to Morato, cleared, little flick ball, and then a no-nonsense clearing by Murillo. If ever Peter Kay doesn't want to do any more John Smith's adverts, that clearance from Murillo would certainly.
Well, in fairness to him, he's been no nonsense all afternoon. Hasn't taken risks, hasn't taken chances. They've marshalled that back line, him and Milinkovic, really well.
That was a definite let's have it, as Liverpool still trailing. Spread play out to this near side for Salah, up against Williams. Moreno certainly had the measure of him. He did well when he was up against the Egyptian. Liverpool, though, attacking on the right-hand side. Morecambe have got a goal back. Morecambe 2, Colchester 3. Alexander-Arnold, right corner of the area. Salah, another pass, goes astray. Tsimikas looks to win it back. Jota was there. It's going to run off Tsimikas last. So the results in League One were Mansfield 2, Cambridge 1, Northampton 1, Wycombe 2. Latest scores could be a winning start for Steve Bruce as the new Blackpool manager. Blackpool 1, Exeter 0, Bolton 0, Huddersfield Town 4, Bristol Rovers 0, Wigan Athletic 4, Crawley 1, Stockport 1, Peterborough 1, Lincoln City 1, Reading 0, Leyton Orient 1. It could be a first win of the season for Leyton Orient. Rotherham 2, Burton 2, Shrewsbury 0, Charlton 1, Stevenage 2, Barnsley 0. And it's going to be a free kick to Nottingham Forest because Gravenberch with a foul on Jota Silva. As Accrington 0, Crewe 1 is the latest score in League 2.
Yeah, and it's brilliant play from Malanga, who's now playing as a central striker, right-hand channel, running towards the touchline. Backheels it into Jota Silva's path, who then pushes it past Gravenberch. I didn't think there was that much contact. He goes down. And Nottingham Forest right where they want to be in the Liverpool final third, running down the clock. James Ward-Prowse over the ball.
Bristol Rovers are down to 10 men as they trail at home to Wigan Athletic by 4-0. Taylor Moore sent off. Free kick to Nottingham Forest. Ward-Prowse to take it. Drops through everybody's head and will run out of play for a goal kick. Gillingham 2, Tranmere Rovers 0. So despite being down to 10, they've got a second goal at Priestfield. There's been another goal at Home Park. John Akers.
Equaliser for the leaders. Plymouth 2, Sunderland 2. Mundle from a tight angle found a way past the left hand of Grimshaw and into the corner. 4 minutes to go. Plymouth 2, Sunderland 2.
The results earlier in the Championship: Leeds 0, Burnley 1, Millwall 0, Luton 1, Oxford United 1, Stoke City 0. Latest scores: Blackburn Rovers extend their unbeaten run as they lead Bristol City by 3-0 at Ewood Park. Derby 1, Cardiff City 0. That'll be 4 wins out of 4 at home. Middlesbrough 1, Preston 1, Plymouth 2, Sunderland 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Ball over the top, too far ahead of Salah, out of play. Goes out for a goal kick. Swansea without a win in 3, leading Norwich by a 1-0 at the Liberty Stadium, and it's Watford 1, Coventry City 1. A reminder on the Monday Night Club, we've got all the football tomorrow, the Champions League action to look forward to as well. All 4 games involving the English sides, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, live on 5 Live at the Monday Night Club. As well as Chris Sutton from 7, Mark Chapman will have a very special guest. David Pleat will be joining you to discuss his book that is out now, Just One More Goal. David, who used to work with us for many a year on 5 Live, many a tale to tell, as Elanga blasted at Alisson beats it out. And so David will be talking about his life, and it's an extraordinary life in football on the Monday Night Club on 5 Live. Liverpool, that could have been put to bed by Elanga, but time is running out. Liverpool, who've lost a little bit of their shape with all of the substitutions, still trailing by 1-0. And Forest defending stoutly, although it's got to be said, they're not coming under a great deal of pressure.
No, well, Forest gone to 3 centre-halves now, but still carrying a threat with Elanga. Up top, there's one long ball, flick on from Jota Silva, and Elanga through on goal. Took his shot early, good save, crucial save from Alisson to just about keep Liverpool in with the chance of getting something out of this game.
Yeah, they're playing in front of Nottingham Forest. This will go down as a master plan from Nuno Espirito Santo. Here is Gravenberch. Gravenberch strokes it out towards Salah. They've got 5 minutes to hang on. There was Nico Williams diving in and dragging it away from Salah. Now running clear, gets a push in the back by Szoboszlai. That'll be a free kick. The slot looks to the heavens. A frustrating afternoon for the Dutchman.
Yep, frustrating afternoon after such a good start. He wouldn't have wanted the international break, but his side this afternoon have been outthought by this Nottingham Forest team. It's been a masterclass of a display from Nuno Espirito Santo and his team. Tactically, substitutions at the right time, the subs coming on and combining for the goal. And now Liverpool had a great start to the season, but this will be a major blip.
The first goal that they've conceded in this new season, as Nottingham Forest lead by 1-0. Szoboszlai lays it off. Alexander-Arnold comes onto it. Early ball into the penalty area. Kneed away by Milinkovic. Now it's with Curtis Jones. Right corner of the area, in towards Salah. Very tight, closely marked. Salah looks to try and wriggle clear. His ball cleared easily by Jota Silva. Everybody's back doing a defensive shift. Jota Silva's actually gone out wide right now, and Elanga is the one leading the attack. Let's go to Manchester City. Will Perry.
Still Manchester City 2, Brentford 1. Erling Haaland getting closer and closer to that 3rd consecutive hat-trick. Still on the pitch. 3 chances in the space of 20 seconds. The best of them rattling the left upright from 15 yards. Still City 2, Brentford 1.
Bradley's low ball in, blocked. Szoboszlai with a shot. Some of the crowd behind us thought it had gone in. I think it was Nico Williams who just threw himself at it. It took a couple of deflections. It's gone behind for a corner kick.
Created a little bit of space in the box. Szoboszlai, right hand side, shifted the ball, and Williams, what a block, threw himself in front of the ball and goes behind for a corner.
Szoboszlai waits to take the corner. Liverpool still trailing. Manchester City lead. Szoboszlai, right-footed. It's an outswinger. Van Dijk's header just over the top of the crossbar, out for a goal kick. Another goal at Pittodrie. Kenny Crawford.
Interesting finish, Ian, because it's Aberdeen 2, Motherwell 1. Moses Obai is tucked in at the back post to make the last few minutes tight. It's Aberdeen 2, Motherwell 1.
Celtic still lead Hearts by 1-0 at Parkhead. Blackpool were leading Exeter by 1-0. Our featured game in League One has just seen another goal. Adam Cottier.
Not leading anymore. Exeter with a late equaliser here. Ed Francis on as a sub. Brilliant left-footed free kick over a crowd and into the net. Blackpool 1, Exeter 1.
Before today, Morecambe were pointless. They were goalless. Well, they've got their goal, and they might, with their 3rd goal actually of the afternoon, might get their first point. Morecambe 3, Colchester United 3 is the latest score in League 2, as Salford City now lead Cheltenham by 2-1 in that division. The goals as they go in. Sports Report on its way. In the Premier League, though, still goalless at the Amex, Brighton and Ipswich. Crystal Palace 1, Leicester City 2, Fulham 1, West Ham 0, Manchester City 2, Brentford 1, and Nottingham Forest still leading here by 1-0 as Curtis Jones picks the ball up midway through his own half. Another misplaced pass. Tsimikas with a blatant push on Jota Silva gives away a free kick.
What a silly free kick to give away, because Nottingham Forest will just run the clock down. Jota Silva running back towards his own goal, halfway inside his own half, slows down, decelerates, draws the foul. Perfect for Nottingham Forest this.
Liverpool in the first half hit the post through Diaz. Sells with a clanger almost gifted Diaz a goal.
Had the Jota chance, didn't they?
They had the Jota chance, but Liverpool haven't created a great deal this afternoon. Forest have certainly had the better chances before they took the lead through that super goal from Hudson-Odoi. Do they deserve the 3 points, Nottingham Forest, in your opinion?
Well, it's been a bit of a smash and grab, hasn't it? I've got to say, Liverpool have been so careless, and I'm repeating myself this afternoon with that, with their final ball. They've been so sloppy, not on point, and that's been their issue. But you've got to say, the way that Nuno Espirito Santo set his team up in the first half, then brought on his flair players in the second half who combined for the goal, it's been a perfect afternoon. It must have been the way it was planned on point, to perfection. Still got work to do though.
Well, certainly a satisfactory afternoon. They've defended well and they've taken their chance. Bromley 2, Notts County 4 is the latest score. Bradley forward, it just nicked its way through off a Forest head as Gakpo was running in, took it behind him. That must have been off a Liverpool head. It's gone straight through out for a goal kick. Stevenage 3, Barnsley 0, Plymouth 3, Sunderland 2. Let's get John Akers to bring us news of that Plymouth goal.
Oh wow, what a finish here at home park, and Joe Edwards has come up trumps for Plymouth. The captain, half volley after a parried shot from the goalkeeper. Wayne Rooney could be on his way to his first win. Plymouth 3, Sunderland 2.
Other late goals at Priestfield, Gillingham 3, Tranmere 0, Celtic have got a second, Celtic 2, Hearts 0, Walsall 2, Bradford City 1, and a penalty at Selhurst Park. Lee Blakeman.
To Crystal Palace, it's going to be taken by Mateta. Palace 1, Leicester 2, Cody bringing down Sarr. Ball on the spot. We're into 5 added minutes. Tony Harrington, the referee, making sure everybody is outside the penalty area. He's hesitated once, twice. Here comes Mateta. 2-2! And in added time, Crystal Palace might have just snatched a point. Palace 2, Leicester 2.
It would leave both sides still looking for their first win of the season. Brighton and Ipswich remains goalless. Fulham still have a slender lead over West Ham. Manchester City 2, Brentford 1. Match of the day tonight is on BBC One, but there's been a goal at Fulham. Chris Coles.
A 95th minute equaliser for West Ham United. Danny Ings, sent on to make a difference up front, has done exactly that. Poacher's finish, 8 yards out into the bottom corner. Fulham 1, West Ham 1.
No shortage of talking points on 606 for you tonight, Christopher.
What a day's football we've had. Danny Ings, blimey, didn't know he was still playing.
08085909693. We're into 5 minutes of added on time here at Anfield. Liverpool still trail by 1-0. They take a quick free kick. They enter the Nottingham Forest penalty area. They go through the middle towards Darwin Núñez, trying to bluster his way through, and then he drops to the floor. Let's get news of that goal at Celtic. Conor McLaughlin.
Celtic 2, Hearts 0, and another goal for one of the newbies. It's Luke McCowan, the self-professed childhood Celtic fan. The ball in the back of the net. It was made by James Forrest, but it looks like the points are secured here at Celtic Park. Celtic 2, Hearts 0.
North London derby tomorrow from 2 after the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Wolves Newcastle to follow at 4:30. The Solheim Cup will conclude after that at around 6:30 on 5 Live. As Liverpool send over a cross from the left, Matt Sells opts to punch rather than catch, takes a tumble, gets the ball out of his penalty area right hand side. 2.5 minutes of normal time remaining. 5 Live, the World Service and BBC Sounds. Alexander Arnold rolls it now to Gravenberch. The sky blue shirts of Nottingham Forest defend deeply. Lifted ball over the top. Williams downward header, only as far as Salah. Heavy touch by Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai right hand side. Cross blocked again. Forest still working hard. Conor Bradley tries to squeeze it through to Salah. Hudson-Odoi clears. Every man doing his job manfully there for Nottingham Forest. And now Elanga on the break gets a throw.
That's tremendous closing down from Elanga. He was maybe 5-8 yards behind Alexander Arnold. on the right hand or left hand channel. Nottingham Forest gets up behind him. Alexander-Arnold puts the ball out for a throw in to Nottingham Forest. Has a word with Michael Oliver, speaks out of turn and gets a yellow card as well.
94-95 was the last time that they had won both of their opening away games in the Premier League. On that occasion it was Ipswich on the other side of Stanley Park against Everton. But here at Anfield it is going to be what a day for Nottingham Forest. Their first win at Anfield since 1969. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0 is the latest score in the Championship. Wednesday who'd lost their last 3. As 2 balls are on the pitch here at the minute. St Mirren 3, Kilmarnock 2 is the latest score in the Scottish Premiership. Celtic Hearts, Celtic 3, Hearts 0. Where will we go now? A goal at Blackpool, Adam Cottier.
Blackpool are back in front. Blackpool 2, Exeter 1. James Husband with a header after a corner from the right had caused chaos, and Steve Bruce is on the brink of victory on his Blackpool debut. Blackpool 2, Exeter 1.
That St Mirren goal's been disallowed. 2-2 at home to Kilmarnock. Here is Gakpo, chips the ball towards the penalty area, headed away by Williams inside the box. By my watch, the 5 minutes of added on time are all but over. Hudson-Odoi gets the contact, goes to ground, wins the free kick, and that might be it. Certainly with the exodus now, the Liverpool supporters leaving Anfield, they certainly believe so too.
Yep, Hudson-Odoi facing back towards his own touchline there. Szoboszlai behind him. Not the most contact. The Forest players have gone down slightly too easily this afternoon, but frustration from Szoboszlai. But it's job done. It really has been brilliant from Nottingham Forest, the way that they've set up, the substitutions, the way it's all worked. And Arne Slot praising him before the game shows what a big job he's got on here.
That Celtic goal was disallowed. They still lead by 2-0 as the full-time whistle sounds. And not quite rightly, the Forest fans celebrate wildly in the Anfield Road end away towards our left-hand side. Because after 27 visits where they have failed to win here, they finally ended that barren spell, and it was a goal delivered with such a precise moment, a thing of beauty from Hudson-Odoi. Nottingham Forest have executed their game plan to a T. They've beaten Liverpool by 1-0, and the perfect start from Arne Slot is well and truly over.
Yep, Arne Slot honeymoon period is over. Plenty of work to do, but let's give all the credit to Nottingham Forest, who are on fire this afternoon, defended brilliantly, outstandingly well, and then carried that threat. Nuno Espirito Santo making the substitution, positive substitutions. They linked up. You spoke about the finish from Hudson-Odoi. It was an incredible finish, unbelievable finish. Forest with the 3 points, and they'll be absolutely made up with the manner of their performance. Real authority. Fair play to Nottingham Forest.
Well, superb effort from Nottingham Forest. They maintain their unbeaten start to the season as Liverpool suffer their first defeat before they head to Milan for the Champions League in midweek. Latest score in the Championship, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1. But here at Anfield, it is finished. Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1.